And City Credit Union, hometown hero of the day, U.S. Air Force Senior Airman Tristan Harris.
What's going on, everybody? John here with you. It's a solo call on a Thursday night, May 11, 2023. How's everybody doing out there today? It's a critical Game 5 between the Seattle Kraken and the Dallas Stars in a 2-2 series tie. It's going to be an emotional night at American Airlines Center on that side of it with the Allen Strong, all the things that are going on at the Texas Mall. So they're doing a moment of silence right now in Dallas, Texas, which is good to see before they actually get into the national anthem and everything else. So it's going to be an emotional night. Let me get you into the starting lineup. So it sounds like this for the Seattle Kraken and Dave Hakstol squad: Matty, Beniers, Ty Cartier, Jordan Eberle, Vince Dunn, and Adam Larsson. Alex Wember, Jaden Schultz, Morgan Geekie with Jamie Alexiak and Will Borgen. It's Yanni, Gourde, Ali Tolvin, and Oliver Bjorkstrand with Ryan Donato, Jared McCann, and Brandon Tanev. Carson Soucy and Justin Schultz will be the back-end defense with Philip Grubauer in net for the Kraken. And for the Dallas Stars, it sounds like this: Roope, Hintz, Jason Robertson, Joe Pavelski with Ryan Suter and Miro Heiskanen for Peter DeBoer squad. Max Domi, Joel Kiravanta, Tyler Seguin, Thomas Harley, and Joel Hanley. Wyatt, Johnston, Jamie Benn, Evgeny Dadonov, Luke Glendening, Radek Faksa, and Ty Dellandrea. He's going to draw into the lineup. He's recovered from the flu-like symptoms. Mason Marchman is out with an upper body injury. That's all you get this time of year. Lindell and Yanni Hakstol will be the back-end defense, and Jake Ottinger will be in net. So what kind of series has this been? If you've been paying attention, even maybe 30% of the time, you will know that this is a punch-counter-punch type of series. Seattle won the first game 5-4. It was the Joe Pavelski experience game where he scored 4 goals. But Seattle won 5-4 in overtime. Then Dallas came back with a dominating 4-2 victory. It was a lot more than the scoreline indicated. Jake Ottinger made 25 saves. Philip Grubauer made 33. Seattle came back with a punishing 7-2. That was the game that Cooper Hopkins and I called on that side. 12 different players secured at least a point. And then we covered the other game. It was solo. It was a 6-3 win. It was Heiskanen. He was in with the full cage. McCann was in for the first time since the Colorado Game 5 off McCarr hit. Daniel Sprong is out. He continues to be out for Game 5. Dallas raced out to a 4-0 lead. It was Max Domi. He had himself a game. 2 goals and an assist. Benn, Roope, Hintz, Thomas Harley, Joe Pavelski all scored. Ottinger wasn't all that great, but he did stop 17-20 in the win. Jaden Schultz scored twice. Adam Larsson had a goal for the Kraken. Grubauer stopped 17-22. He got pulled for the first time in the series, as Martin Jones made a pair of stops in relief in the third period. So Jake Ottinger, 6-4 this postseason, 271 goals against, and a .903 save percentage. He is in the cage alongside Philip Grubauer. So what will we have tonight? If you believe the counter and counterpunch will hold serve, then Seattle would be winning this game tonight. But with the emotional night that it is in Dallas, from everything that happened at the Texas Mall shooting, everybody's wearing the Allen Strong patches on the side of the helmet. Even the Seattle Kraken are joining that, which was a good gesture to see. We're going to find out what's going to happen tonight, and my name is John Ott, and we're going to take you through this. And then once we get through the TNT coverage of the New Jersey Devils and the Carolina Hurricanes, it's 2-2 in overtime. This will transition to TNT. So now the Seattle Kraken will start with this, and they're in the road whites as they have us toward the right side of the blue line, and this is off a Vince Dunn slap shot that goes off the left side pad of Jake Ottinger. Another slap shot there for Dunn. It goes right off the same pad again, and it's brushed out aside. Dallas at home, they are in the victory green jerseys with the black pants and black and white striping on the socks. Again, for Seattle, they are in the road whites with the teal striping and the black part on the skates with the white pants. As this is sent back around again, they're talking again, no Daniel Sprong. And every time I see Brandon Tanev's photo, I have to laugh on that side. This is recollected by Evgeny Dadonov, a sauce pass, and toward the right side of the dot. That's why Johnston got taken down. And this will be Jamie Alexiak. We'll be patient. We'll play this up the right side wall. And this will be a pinch in by Will Borgen. He just tries to center it out in front of the slot, picked up off the backhand by Seattle. And Jaden Schultz will stutter step his way through. Thought he might have got hit in the face, but he did not. It was Oliver Bjorkstrand giving a little small chase to Lindell. And now Dallas can look to break out. Jimmy Benn with the captaincy will send this one back. As Lindell will get this one now from Yanni Hakstol. It's turned over, and this is a webbing of the catching glove save. That was Matty Beniers that let it fly, and Ottinger held on. So 2-0 are the shots for Seattle. Dallas with a careless turnover in their own end, but Jake Ottinger bells them out. Again, it's a little bit of a sticker. That's Alan Sprong with the star from the Texas Mall side of it, and that is on the side of the helmets on the right side. So again, it's good to see alongside the Stanley Cup playoff emblems. So Matty Beniers, he falls down on the side of the draw. I think they were doing it a little bit too early, so this will be Glendening against Beniers. Glendening is the teacher, and Beniers is the student. When you get to that point of it on the draw, as Glendening wins this one. As this goes back out of the air, try to get juggled by Glendening with Roddick Fox and Carson Soucy. Pin into the wall. Ollie Tolvanen will get it now for Jordan Eberle, but this goes out the back skate of Ty Cartier. And Dallas able to flip this in. Miro Heiskanen will deliver his hit. Glendening got something up high and to knock down one of the Seattle Kraken-Stars, a short side chance for Dellandrea. And that goes off the side of the cage. As Dallas, maybe they'll be able to hold this in with Ryan Suter, but they can't corral this across the goal line. And this will be picked up here by Miro. Again, he's in the full cage. He doesn't want to get any of the sutures toward the left side of his face. He'll cut up and reopen as Domi will put this right out in front. This goes off the glove of Grubauer, bounce right out in front, but Seattle, now they're going the other way. Played off the backhand, looking for the sauce, and Ottinger dove at it, but he missed. There's a deflection. This is going to go right to Ryan Donato, and it went off the post, off the outside of the cage. Next, Domi spins to elude a hit. Harley, now with Domi. Domi off the backhand, trying to get around a couple stick lifts. He tries the windmill, and this will be picked up now by Larsson. Larsson will send this the other way for Jared McCann, and now McCann will play this off the backhand. He'll continue to spin there as Carson Soucy. He just tries to buy some space as Donato will make an outstretched pass. Soucy will throw a hit, as Seattle goes back into their own end. They're going to be going left to right in this first. Racing it across the red line now. Off the drop pass, Ollie Tolvanen shot a little wide. But this is picked up by Seattle. Centered out in front. Now behind the net. Seattle, much better effort than so far in Game 4. This is Game 5, and it's kind of been that stop and start as they've had the energy. Ollie Tolvanen now. As Pavelski able to get this out, but this gets intercepted across the red line. And Seattle can take a breath and slow it down. Again, I'll keep you updated on the right side of the score line. It's a stoppage here with 2-2 between New Jersey and Carolina, 17:56 in overtime. Ian and Alec have the call there on Twitter Spaces if you want to follow there at Dat Alec. If you follow me on Twitter Spaces at John right on, you can see their coverage. Here comes the slap shot. This bounces off of Grubauer's right pad, and now Soucy trying to get it out, but he can't. And Dallas scores! Wyatt Johnston, the 20-year-old, and it's 1-0 Dallas. So it was all the pressure in the work for Seattle, but the first shot of the game, Wyatt Johnston at 16:03 sends the crowd in a frenzy, and Dallas is off and running. So as this puck goes around the inboards, here comes a slap shot that bounces off of Tolvanen. Dallas able to keep it in. They work it down low. It goes off the stick of Borgen. He puts it into an area right to Dallas. And Jamie Benn gets this to the youngster and Wyatt Johnston. He's Johnny on the spot. It was a poor clear there by Borgen. And it goes right to Johnson. And off the give and go from Benn, Johnston scores. It's his third goal of the postseason. Again, number 53, the 20-year-old. He has been spectacular as Miro Heiskanen flipped this in. Roddick Fox now along the right side of the wall with Luke Glendening. As Seattle will try to locate this now, I believe, with Matty Beniers, but this is turned over. Adam Larsson turns it over here to Dallas. As Dallas now will pick this up. Matty Beniers trying to get around a couple of stick lifts for Seattle. He'll spin and turn. 5 points here, 28 shots on goal for Wyatt Johnston. Not too bad, as this is offsides against Seattle. So they started with all sorts of pressure, but it was a poor play defensively by Will Borgen. He just hit it off a stick, and this went right to Jamie Benn, who passed it right to Wyatt Johnston in front. And Dallas, they're off and running. They got a 1-0 lead with 15:33 left to go in the first. rookie point leaders in the postseason. Wyatt Johnston's at the top. And again, they showed Ty Cartier as well for Seattle. Again, he's been very good. But this is not what Seattle wanted, considering the start that they had. And they've got, I think, they got to score the next goal of the game. As this goes, a 5-hole shot for Donato. This gets brushed aside by Ottinger as Tanev. Turbo trying to pry this loose, but Dallas will race for it. As this goes near the right side of the wall, McCann goes down as he tried to go over a hit. Now getting down on full flight here from Miro Heiskanen. Heiskanen now will just shovel this into the left side of the red line as it's recollected now by Seattle. As they'll play this off the forehand. And this will be picked up by Seattle. Have to get a windmill drag to get this toward the right side of the red line. Turbo will try to shovel it back around, but Dallas right on this puck. This might fall back to Tanev. Tanev now trying to keep this alive with the blue line, but this is all for naught as Ryan Suter will gain the entry, flip it in, and this will go back to Philip Grubauer. So just in case you were wondering if Martin Jones was going to be one spell and one spell only, well, right now that looks to be the case as Philip Grubauer got a race in the third, but that was it. Oliver Bjorkstrand shoots it wide, well around the window, and Dallas can safely play this in their own end as Harley in full flight now. Harley, here's the shot for it, scores! What a play! And Roope hits with an absolute missile off the wrister, and it's 2-0 Dallas, and Seattle is in all sorts of trouble now with 14:25 in the first. Roope hits with a rocket, and Harley was given the space to go right down the middle of the ice. And when Roope Hintz was the recipient of the puck, he made no mistake. It was a lightning release that kissed the bottom of the right post and in. Perfect shot by Roope Hintz. It was lifted and spinning, and Dallas already up 2-0. Seattle, I think, again, I know it's just early in the first. It's 2 shots and 3 goals. If you're Dave Hakstol, you might even consider a timeout or even a goalie pool if you get to the next goal, because you've got to save face for something. There's so much time in this game, and Dallas has scored 2 goals in a minute 38. As this is recollected now off the right side of the wall, Dallas has the pin. As Seattle is in all sorts of trouble now. This is flipped up, almost stolen away from Larsson, but he will settle it down. He tries to shovel it out for one of the Seattle players that stayed on side in Morgan Geeky, but this is dumped in. Dallas with a beautiful play trying to find Benn. And that could have been a 3-0 lead already. As this is recollected now. Off the drop pass, here comes the bomb. Big save by Ottinger with the left pad. As Seattle tries to spin this around the inboards here for Larsson. Larsson will get it from Schultz. Larsson, cross pass to the defense, going to let this one go. And this is a good save by Ottinger with all sorts of traffic in front. Geeky was the one that tried to make something happen again. But with 13:34 in the first, it's already 2-0 Dallas. Come right back.
You're looking pleased with yourself. Not Brett, but I just switched to Verizon. So you got an awesome network. And when I switched, I got to choose the phone I wanted for free. Not bragging.
He's bragging.
Oh, he's bragging. Who me? Never. Oh, excuse me. Hello, your Royal Highness, sir.
Okay, that's a brag.
Hey, Mom, I gotta call you back. Visit your Verizon store during our spring savings event and choose the phone you want, like the incredible iPhone 14 on us. Verizon.
Alright, Guardians, are you ready?
Life can move at the speed of light. Let's give the galaxy something to remember us by. It's the road we travel together that makes the journey. Whatever the galaxy throws your way this summer, count on a team you can trust for all your epic rides. Enterprise. And see Marvel Studios Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 only in theaters.
Sportsbook is your place to bet on the greatest sport on earth. There's so many ways to get closer to the game, and with this latest offer, you can win big. From that is deserving some victory stick cash.
Download the app, sign up for the promo code, get $150 instantly in bonus bets when you bet just $5.
And get in on the action with an official sports betting partner of the NHL. 2-0 Dallas. What a start, Jim. These Stars, boy, but they get off to a good start. 13-1 their last 14 when scoring first and early lead.
They've been really good, right? You look at the last goal they scored and finally joined the rush. I think that's a big part of their game. But we often do see Heiskanen, and he continues to be an amazing story for the Dallas Stars. Coming back from that scary injury, taking the deflection, or puck to the face, comes back and plays over 31 minutes in game 4. But lots of praise from his coach on his influence.
Back underneath the action now, and it's already one-sided as Seattle gets absolutely punished near the right side of the wall. That was Ty Cartier. Eberle tries to keep this in near the right side of the red line, and this will just be brushed again as Cartier gets taken down one more time. Again, he's paying the price to get in front of the net. It was clear that when you're the right side of the post, as Seattle finishes off a hit. It's already 6 hits both sides as Carson Soucy introduces himself to one of the Stars, and this is sent in now. Eberle will try to cancel this off near the right side of the boards as Larsson tries to finish a hit. Eberle trying to get around a couple of stick lifts, but he can't. He's pinned near the right side of the boards as Ryan Suter will get this one here to Miro Heiskanen, but it's canceled off near the left side of the blue line, and Dallas will flip this back in. Suter has it. He'll leave it here for Max Domi. He was brilliant in Game 4. He had 2 goals and an assist. Miro Heiskanen, great move as he buys some space. And now it's a chance now for Kiviranta. Tyler Seguin was cruising in the middle of the slot. Wraparound attempt gets canceled off with the left pad of Grubauer, but he's already conceded a couple. Dallas has this in behind the office. Heiskanen wanted a slap shot. This might fall right to him. And Seattle having a tough time trying to get this out of their own end. Again, Morgan Geekie hit up high, but Suter gets a chance to drop this back here for Miro Heiskanen, and they'll start again. Here's the cross pass. This is collected into the neutral zone, and Dallas will dump it in. Grubauer will play it with the stick as they'll leave it in for Borgen. Borgen gets canceled off the puck by Joe Pavelski, but Seattle is there with reinforcements as they'll flip it in across the red line. It'll be Tolton. Will try to pry it loose, and now his pass goes a little bit too far. He tried a bank pass. Is Yanni Gourde loads a hit there. And Seattle, and on the forecheck, just trying to get to this puck there with Tolvanen, but this goes across the red line now as it's recollected by Jimmy Alexiak, the former Star. 11:20 left to go in this fast-moving first period. It's 7 shots to 3 for Seattle, but Dallas has 2 goals on 3 shots as it's recollected now. Turned over right behind the net. Bjorkstrand trying to get to it, but Seattle can't hold the blue line. Getting to Dunn up with a couple active sticks, and here's a chance for Dallas off the 2-on-1. Here's the pass. And it was lightly deflected by Seattle, but Dallas still with it, looking for the screen out in front. It's bounced off the right side of the window, recollected now by Dallas, as they've been all over this puck, even with the limited amount of chances. Oliver Bjorkstrand has it. Full spin. Dallas 6-1 in the playoffs when scoring the first goal of the game, so you think that's going to bode well. And right now, the punch-counter-punch between one team winning, Seattle starting, and then alternating. Dallas has a good chance of breaking this right now, and if they get another win at Clark, this series is done. Here comes the wrist shot chance for Dellandrea, and this hits the netting, but this does bounce off Grubauer, so that will count as a shot on goal. We'll get a stoppage with 10:29 left to go in the first. John out here with you on the Thursday night for a solo call. As always, let me know what you think in the comments section. If you have any of those, I will read those. It's a solo call from me on this side, and then we will be back once this game is over next week, because I have a couple games with the Waterford Sharks here locally that I'm going to cover on the weekend because they're in the finals. So this will be the last YouTube assignment for the week on that side for Seattle and Dallas. But right now, Dallas has a 2-0 lead. Tyler Seguin loses the draw in the offensive end, and this is recollected now by Heiskanen. Seguin gets around a hit, and this will fall here to Joel Kiviranta, and Kiviranta will keep it in, but he'll have to spin back now. Ryan Suter in the neutral zone. Good touch pass there for Kiviranta to Seguin, and now Seguin will throw it back to Miro Heiskanen as this goes back to Kiviranta one more time. And now Seattle will intercept. Carolina has just scored in the overtime side, so Alec Nava and Ian have covered that side. And so Carolina wins the series, and they're just awaiting the winner now between Toronto and Florida. Florida is up 3-1. So it could be Florida and Carolina in the Eastern Conference Finals. They're just waiting to see what's done with that. When we get to a commercial break, I'll have to flip back over to the TNT side as Alexiak lost it. And now this will go to Robertson before it goes to Matty Beniers. And now Seattle Gain the entry. Here's a long shot. This goes right in the living catching glove, and the net gets dislodged. Cartier absolutely blew that over. And Alexiak now is pushing and shoving, but we're not going to get anything out of this. I think we might go to a commercial break, but once we do, I will flip back over on this side of the coverage. Be right back. So right now, before I get back into the official recorder spot for anyone that's listening on the Twitter Spaces and the YouTube side, we're just looking at the handshake line. We're going to be moving back over to Seattle and Dallas, where they're showing Jesper Fast, Timo Meier. The Jersey Devils are done. Carolina Hurricanes, maybe they're trying to atone for some demons that they faced when they lost in the second round last year. They just couldn't win any games away from PNC. But now they'll go to the third round. Will they await the winner of the Florida Panthers and the Toronto Maple Leafs? Florida is still well in the driver's seat with a 3-1 series advantage. So once that happens on that side, the Eastern Conference Finals will be set. But in between the 2-2 tie on both sides that we got right now, we're still going to have ways to go in the West. So officially, we just saw the handshake line in between New Jersey and Carolina. New Jersey's been eliminated, and Carolina will be heading to the third round. They'll be in the Eastern Conference Finals, where they await the winner of the Florida Panthers and the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Panthers still have a 3-1 series lead on the Leafs. But as it stands, we're in our featured game now at American Airlines Center. John Under with you on the solo call. It's a 2-0 lead for the Dallas Stars. This is sent back around the net of Jake Ottinger and recollected Wimberg. There's an extra pass. This goes off the outside of the window. And Jake Ottinger will try to locate it, but Miro Heiskanen will find it near the right side of the red line. As Suter taking a series of cross checks, Seattle has this sustained right toward the right side dot. They'll go for a flipper off the outside of the cage, and that did bounce off the top of the net, but this was picked up by Dallas. Roope Hintz, who already has a goal. He flips this one in as Robertson will be the first to get to it now. Play this calmly off the inboards. This will go to Dallas and will settle it down. And they'll flip this in on the left side of the red line as they try to get a stick lift to the Stars in the victory game to Dunn. Can't get around Alexiak, and there'll be a long flip from about 100 feet. This gets collected nicely by Ty Cartier. Will shoot a 5-hole shot. Ottinger keeps that closed. Again, from game 2, when he gave about 4 of those, I've not seen that open. Ottinger's definitely made the adjustment, but you could argue that was a Miro Heiskanen injury. They got a little bit rattled, and the rest of the team rattled. As the play is stopped with 8:01 left to go in the first, it is 9-4 on the shot board, but where it matters on the score Chiron, Dallas up 2-0. They're showing a replay of a couple of goals. Again, Will Borgen, if he had to do that over again, he wouldn't have cleared it right in the middle of the slot, and then Harley off the second opportunity, he just drops it right to Roope Hintz with an absolute rocket of a wrist shot. And Dallas up 2-0. Wyatt Johnston got the first. The 20-year-old already got his points. And Dallas is off and running, and as they said, in this playoffs, they're 6-1 when they've scored first. Seattle has 11 shots. They've had a much better effort, but they're already down on the scoreboard. And you think if they don't get a goal here in this first, I know it's early forecasting on my part, but if they don't get a goal here to get this within 1, this could be a complete Dallas game here in Game 5. As Roope Hintz has 16 goals and 25 assists in 55 playoff games. And again, those numbers have heavily been impacted now from his second consecutive season in the postseason now because they're much, much better. But Roope Hintz has just absolutely carried this team. And Dallas has had some secondary production as well, but Seattle thrives and lives on secondary production. But the last couple games here between 4 and 5 right now with 7:53 in the first, that's dried up for the Kraken, no doubt about it. Marek Faksa wants to go ahead and take this draw, but they're going to brush Yanni Gourde out of there and over Bjorkstrand. We'll have to take it. Faksa goes too early, but now he gets a third opportunity to Radek Faksa. You don't see that very often in the draw. And he gets it. That's Lindell off the clear in the jump. This gets picked up here by Ty Delandria. Look at a little bit of a basketball hop. There's Radek Faksa in there to clean up the mess. And now Schultz will play this off the forehand. They'll try to transition this left to right. Bjorkstrand now. Leave it here for Tolvanen. This bounces off a Dallas Star. But this is in the offensive end as Essa Lindell is being pinned. Bjorkstrand trying to locate this. He'll just have to kick it. He lost his stick. And this is sent back around here for Yanni Gourde. Now Bjorkstrand now from Gourde. He'll have to spin to locate again. Bjorkstrand sends this off the kick plate and off the glass. Bjorkstrand still spinning, trying to keep this alive. Excellent effort by Bjorkstrand. Sent it to the net, but Borgen couldn't locate it. He could have had a wide open net to shoot at, but he just didn't get there in time. Yanni Gourde got taken down. And this goes now here for Essa Lindell. We'll just gain the red line and take his change as Dallas feels good about where they are right now. Under 2.5 goal score to give you plus 100 on DraftKings. Probably shouldn't take that bet because it's 6:45 left in the first. Dallas had a partial break the other way with Max Domi. It looks like he lost an extra tooth there for game 4, but he was well off sides. Again, he had 2 goals and an assist in game 4, and he wanted to be well on his way to get Dallas a 3-0 lead, but he jumped too early. So we're going to neutral zone draw. So Victory Green will be set to take this, and the neutral zone of the Dallas Stars in a chipped face-off will go right back to Thomas Harley. He's been really good since moving up to the second line for Peter DeBoer's squad. That is exactly how you do a promotion, as this is sent back in, and this is offsides against Donato. This is play the high stick, I believe, too, so they'll be blown down either way. 6:34 left to go in the first. It's 11 shots to 4. Johnny with them, the solo call. But it's a 2-0 lead for the Dallas Stars. They scored about 1:35 apart and had a couple of goals. And it was just a couple of plays. One was very poor by Borgen to throw that out right in the middle. And then you gave Thomas Harley, the defenseman, all the space in the world to rush down the middle of the ice. He just dropped the Roope Hintz and he busted the wrist shot and scored. It was a murderous shot as this is sent back in off an icing with 6:26 left to go in the first. So we'll take a look at the timing of the goals. It was Wyatt, Johnston, and Jamie Benn at 3:57. Johnson with his third from Benn's 8th of his apple. And Roope Hintz his 7th goal of the playoffs from Thomas Harley, 4th assist, and Jason Robinson's 7th assist at 5:35. Jacob Ottinger has stopped 8 out of 8. Philip Grubauer has given up 2 on 4 attempts, as this is a face-off win by Seattle. A little bit too far for Larsson, but they'll send this back around the net of Ottinger anyway, as this will be reflected by Thomas Harley. Good work to get through a couple of escape plays now near the right side of the wall, as this will be Jordan Eberle trying to pry it loose. Matty Beniers, he looks like a bull in a china shop right now, just trying to get this puck as the stick gets knocked out of one of the Dallas hands, and they're going to blow that play dead. And Seattle won't like that because Jordan Eberle was walking right into the net. Had a chance to do something against Jake Ottinger, but the play's blown dead right at 6 minutes. Still 11-4 are the shots on goal in favor of Seattle. Almost a 3-1 advantage right now, but it's a 2-0 advantage on the score sheet for Dallas. So the face-off goes back into the neutral zone. I will say this, as this series has gone along, at least on the draws part of it, it's got a little more even, although Dallas is still out front if you combine games 1 and 2. But they're getting more confident in on the draws, trying to find some tendencies. But again, they need to get some goals on the scoreboard here, and they won't have to do this in the first, as it's Morgan Geeky now near the right side of the wall. We'll try to just split this into the corner, but this kid's canceled off by 3 Stars. Schultz will also try to locate this. Here is Joe Pavelski with a couple of stick blades, just trying to get the puck loose. Adam Lundberg will take a look at it. Geeky's still trying to pry it loose as Jaden Schwartz just gets back up from a cross check. This goes away from the far corner from LA Tolvanen, and now Miro Heiskanen will flip this in off the backhand, send it all the way down the ice. This will be blown dead off an icing, so Dallas cannot change with 5:10 left to go in the first. So a game that was flying by in the first is not necessarily doing so right now, as we've had about 5 different stoppages over the span of, let's say, a minute and 45 seconds. John Under with you on the call for Game 5. It's a 2-0 lead for the Dallas Stars. Again, in the YouTube question, we can take a look at it. I said, whoever wins this game tonight in Game 5, do you believe they're going to win the series? And all the votes I saw right now were yes on that side. Robertson will spin this out of the defensive end as Yanni Gourde will try to locate it. And now Seattle off the chip and chase. They can't win it as Miro Heiskanen will be the first to get to it. Oliver Bjorkstrand will send this up the right side of the red line. Roope Hintz took 2 players to get him off the puck, and now Yanni Gourde tries to recollect the puck into the neutral zone as it goes back to Grubauer. With 4:40 left to go in the first. Shots are 12-4, but Seattle down 2-0 on the scoreboard. And now Borgen with his outstretched pass will just bounce off a Star. And it's offsides yet again. McCann was way offsides. Don't even know what he was trying to do there. We'll take a break. Dallas out in front and feeling good. What's going on? You know, how you doing, my friend? I know you guys were live and looking on the side of the Carolina Hurricanes. They won the series, so they are waiting for the winner of the Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes. I can get you in here on this side because it's just me tonight on that end. Take a look.
No wonder it made Car Driver's 10 Best list for the 37th time. The all-new 2023 Accord Hybrid. Hybrid. Defined by Honda.
Yeah. We saw Alec especially was ecstatic by the results of that game, considering the Hurricanes are his second team because he lives in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that overtime winner by Miami.
Rediscover 5-hour energy. We're doing TV wrong.
Yeah, I think at this point, Carolina has at least improved from what they did last year when they couldn't win a single game on the road. And now they get to the third round, and they're just going to await the winner of the Maple Leafs and the Panthers. The Panthers still well in the driver's seat. I think that series is going to continue tomorrow.
Yeah. That I'll tell you this, Sean. I was a little unsure when I was making my prediction, but now I gotta say, this Hurricanes team just feels different. It feels like you can't just focus on one or two guys to focus on, and you have a shot. Everybody can hurt on that team.
Yeah, it's amazing that they're doing that considering how many injuries and things that there are. So this is played by Evgeny Dadonov now with a slap shot that's found by Benn. Again, it's 2-0 lead for Dallas. Grubauer is able to hold on off of the deflection. 4:14 left to go in the first. Dallas up by a pair. Again, this is a critical swing game, Game 5. Ian's going to be joining me here for this one. Again, this is a solo call for me here tonight on this side, so we want to get Ian in and get his thoughts. With 4:14 left to go in the first, Seattle's got 7 of the 8 last shots on goal, but they're trailing on the score chyron, and I've asked the question on the YouTube side, do you think whoever wins this Game 5 wins the series? And right now it's 4 votes that say yes, nothing for no on that end, as this is picked up by Seattle. And now Miro Heiskanen can't clear it. This is Seattle right out in front. Big opportunity. This goes off the wall and recollected now by Wenberg. That could have been an opportunity for Seattle to get at least within one. I think they might need to do so in this first period. Here's a shot that goes up high and hits one of the Dallas Stars. It might have bounced off Max Domi, I believe, and this is sent back down the ice Phil Grubauer will play it. Again, he was pulled in Game 4, and Martin Jones made a pair of saves in the third period as this goes off the right side of the red line. Larsson will shoot this one in. Seattle will try to be the first to get to it as this is Dallas now with Radek Fox on the fourth line. Seattle will find it now into the neutral zone here for Fox as this gets stick lifted again. Eberle will be the first to get to it now. Off the back pass, recollected by Miro Heiskanen with 3:05 left to go in the first. Dallas up by a pair. There's Eberle now. Matty Beniers has it. Drag, shoots. Big save by Ottinger as this is picked up with the right pad, but here's a chance now. Off of a clear. This is sent back out in front toward the right side dot. This goes wide. And now Eberle will get a chance one more time to look at it. Eberle, patient in the high slot, he'll fire. This gets picked up now by Karsten Soucy as he flips it in. This takes a bounce off the glass. Eberle able to stay to his feet after he took a Radek Fox a hit. And this will just stay in for Justin Schultz. Now in around the window again and behind the net. Jordan Eberle got to be a little bit exhausted. He's been getting absolutely punished, but he's just trying to keep this puck alive. It's done at 2:20 in the first. This is played near an open side of the blue line, but nobody was home. This will be picked up into the neutral zone now for Seattle. Shots read 12-5 with 2:10 left to go in the first. Seattle trying to gain the entry again, and they have to check back up. They were offside. It's a race for the puck off a one-on-one, but Seattle will locate it with some reinforcements. They'll dump it in off the backhand. This will be spun around the horn here for Jake Ottinger. And first in the forecheck is Seattle as they'll flip this in the right side of the red line. Max Domi. Again, he was excellent in Game 4. He had 2 goals and 1 assist. They will clear this out for the St. Louis Blues product, former Vince Dunn. And Oliver Bjorkstrand will try to locate as he gets worked off the puck. Dallas has it now. As this is Joe Kiravanta. We'll flip this in. Here's a race for the puck off the backhand. Yanni Gourde. He was patient in his own defensive end. He won the battle. Now for Adam Larsson. Adam Larsson rips this around the inboards now. And here's a skate for Jared McCann. This goes off the outside of the cage as Seattle has it now. Trying to be patient with the head up as Brandon Tanev. Turbo will spin this back around. Here a chance for Wenberg. And the net's knocked off. And we're going to have play blown dead with 1:08 left to go in the first. So they are showing right now active players without a Stanley Cup in the playoffs. Ryan Suter, Brent Burns, and Joe Pavelski. Although, as Ian was saying, it's Brent Burns another step closer here as they're in the third round.
Yeah, this late in his career and how he had taken a pretty drastic drop in his offensive numbers in San Jose. I did not expect Brent Burns to be as productive with the Canes as he's been in this postseason, but he's knotted a couple of goals in their series. He knotted a couple of goals in the series against the Devils.
In one of those situations, too, Ian, where Carolina, that all the injuries that they've had that we talked about, they need to find a way to drive their offense, and the way that Carolina does this more so better than any of these other NHL teams is they get it done by defense, and that's how they can drive it between Pesce, Shea, Burns, guys like that. Again, we will be covering part of the third round, whether it's between all of us with Alec on that side, or we'll see who's going to be available, because this is going to be my last call here for the week till I got to do some Waterford Shark stuff. So we got 30 seconds left to go, and this is flipped in off the ice. This will be Dallas's puck. And it'll be 29 seconds left to go on the first. It's 13-5 on the shot board, but it's been all Dallas. As you take a look at Miro Heiskanen with the full face shield. That cut's pretty nasty that he's got, but Peter DeBoer said this openly. We couldn't afford to have him miss any games, and he's been pretty good in this series so far. So DeBoer now. Take a look as they show Roope Hintz. He wins the draw, drops it back here for Miro. And now Suter. Here's Heiskanen with a ripper. This goes off the right pad of Grubauer. As this is flipped down, Miro Heiskanen's got it. As a recollect with Roope Hintz has already got one in this game. He's flying down the left side wing, trying to recollect off the pinch. Be down to 5 seconds now in the first. Seattle might be fortunate to only be down a pair of goals as here's a slap shot. And this one catapults all the way back. That ends the first period. The Shots on goal are 14-5, with Dallas up 2-0 at the end of one.
One quick thing about the Hurricanes is that I believe Alex says best anytime I bring it up. He says the Hurricanes have a next man up mentality. You know, they can plug in just about anyone and they'll be productive. And one thing I said to him is that the Hurricanes, while they have notable names on their team, it doesn't feel, they never feel like one of the premier teams. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the NHL, but they don't seem like one of those ratings teams. It's like they're not the Oilers or the Rangers or Vegas.
No, they're not. But Ian, the one thing that you know this well, you've covered a lot of those games with them. So they're very well coached. Rod Brind'Amour knows exactly what the hell he's doing. And considering all the injuries and everything else that they have, Carolina, they've been trying to be a force over the last couple of years. They've been a really good regular season team, and they're just trying to find the window, find a way, find an opening. And who knows? I mean, let's talk about some of the stuff in the East there really quickly. I'm assuming that Florida is going to hold on to the 3-1 series lead and move on, and they'll play against Carolina on that end. But when you think about it, no Tampa Bay, no Boston, no Toronto. Carolina's window is wide open.
Yeah, and Rod Brind'Amour, because I was just out of curiosity, I looked through YouTube for some kind of documentary on the 2006 Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Rod Brind'Amour, I don't know this to be sure, but he kind of reminds me of his old coach, Peter Laviolette.
I don't think.
Was?
Yeah.
It's almost like he coaches, maybe not the same way, but there's similarities to his coaching style and Laviolette's.
I don't think that's a bad comparison, Ian, on that side. I mean, he's a hard-nosed coach, and he wants the best out of his players. Obviously, that's what all coaches want to do, but he knows the game plan. He knows to be able to drive offense through defense. You get the shots at the back end side of it. Sebastian Aho is a really good player, but he doesn't have to do everything. Again, the next man up thing, as you said with Alec, that's smart because that's the way it is for Carolina. That's the way that they've tried to play. It hasn't always worked out. The one thing that always worries me about Carolina, and it hasn't bit them now, they kind of cheap out when it comes to the goaltending aspect. I know they've always had some injuries. They've had some players move in and out. Now it's Freddie Anderson, but you're still going to have Peter Kochetkov. You still got Antti Ranta there for probably another year. So, they just get that done by committee, but everyone else just seems to know the job, and they do it well. I'm going to give the reset there on that one really quickly. I'm just typing up these notes for the game story here. Got the notes as far as the stats. We'll keep you updated on this side, and I'm going to flip back over because I know we had a couple NBA games I got to get into. I didn't know if the Celtics game went final yet. But let's just go through the quick reset here for Dallas. So this was early, and it wasn't often, but it was early. It felt like it was going to be often. It was Wyatt Johnston. Will Morgan had an awful clear near the right side of the dot. He just kind of swatted at it with the stick. Jamie Benn picked it up behind the net. Found Wyatt Johnston, the 20-year-old, scored. He got his third of the postseason off Jamie Benn's 8th apple. And then Roope Hintz, Thomas Harley, the defenseman, was able to pretty much scream right down the middle of the ice. He drops it right to Roope Hintz with an absolutely wicked wrister. He scores at .535. So even though the shot board on shots on goal reads 14-5 for Seattle, it's 2-0 Dallas. You're going to have to fix out my notes. I was writing everything for Dallas. So let's just double check this here, and then I will make sure these stats are correct. So the hits are correct. They're 18-10 for Dallas. And the face-offs, as we said, for Seattle being 31 out of 32 on that side. They're not going to be a very good face-off team. Dallas has the edge as you would expect, 12-7. There were not any power plays on that side. I am going to, because we just talked about the Carolina side, I'm going to flip over on the NBA side really quickly. So Boston forces a Game 7. They win at Wells Fargo Center, 95-86. From what I saw a little bit of, Jason Tatum had an awful game as far as his standards and the shooting side of it. He did end up with a +2 and 19 points, but it was 5 of 21 to get those 19 points. But he did end up with 9 boards, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks.
So, John, I can give a little more context to at least the last 5 minutes of the game. So apparently, you said that the score was the final score was 95-86.
Yes.
Celtics. Is that was that the final score?
Yeah, that's correct. 95-86 Boston.
Well, according to a report, the 76ers had 83 points with 5 minutes left in the game.
Oh boy.
So that means they only scored 3 points in the span of the final 5 minutes of the game. Now I don't know if Boston was up or down at that time, but truthfully that doesn't matter. The 76ers only scored 3 points in the final 5 minutes.
And Ian, I'm looking at this right now. To your point, I just pulled up the box score on ESPN and I'm scrolling down. So they had an 83-81 lead. Their last point scored was at 5:57, and Boston just went on a hell of a run to close it out. You're right.
Man, and John, this right here, this is what I call. I don't really know the technical term for this, but I call it. This was the Nosferatu moment. This is the Nosferatu moment for Boston. Philadelphia did not drive the stake through the heart of Boston, and Boston has another chance on their home turf.
I think that's a good call by you, Ian, on that side, because, again, 5:56 left to go in the game, and you only score 3 points. I was looking at toward the end of the third quarter, it was looking like a mid-2000s, late 90s game. It was like 78, 76, something like that. And no, you're exactly right. When you look at Philadelphia and their roster construction, you might disagree with me on this, but I feel like they're a better team than Boston all the way around. They're just trying to get Embiid acclimated. Again, it looks like Embiid had a pretty good game again. 26 points, 10 rebounds. But yeah, you had an opportunity to take out Boston. And let's face it, Ian, do you feel like I do that Philadelphia is probably the favorite if they get past Boston to go to the finals?
Yeah, definitely. Although the Heat are up on they've either clinched the series or they're up on the Knicks, and I don't see the Knicks coming back. And the Heat are scrappy, so that can go either way. But Philadelphia would be the favorite. You're right; they would be the favorite to win to get out of the East. However, this was the moment for them to shut it down. You're on your home court. You have all the momentum going your way after beating Boston on their home court.
Yeah.
And then, you're going back home. And I don't know if you've ever been. I've never been, and I don't know if you've ever been, but I can just tell watching from the screen. Philadelphia fans on any level, on any sport, they are rabid, especially during playoff time.
Yeah. They are. They can be rabid and they can be very nasty on that end.
Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, you let Boston escape with a win, and now you have to go back to TD Garden. Yeah, you may have won there, you won there once, maybe twice. I don't know. Maybe you somehow snuck through. Maybe somehow you've been able to beat them every time you've been on their home court. I don't know how the order has gone for each game on which court. But the point I'm trying to make here is, this was, if we want, I'm turning this back to hockey. This was the moment. This feels like this kind of feels like when the Maple Leafs had a 3-2 lead against the Bruins and could have clinched it on their home ice, and they didn't do it. And then they had to go back to Boston.
Yeah, I can understand some of those comparisons on that. And as far as what we talked about the splits, I think both teams now have lost 2 games on home court. So 2 games were lost in Philadelphia, 2 games were lost in Boston. If there's a way that Boston loses Game 7 and drops 3 games at TD Garden, well, then shame on them at that point, because that just doesn't seem realistic. I'm going to go ahead and give the quick reset for everybody while we're in the middle of the intermission of the game that you covered there alongside with Alec. It was the start for the New Jersey Devils. It was Dawson Mercer. I saw that goal. That was a gorgeous cross pass that got him wide open in the first at 15:06 for Timo Meier and Michael McLeod. It was 1-0 New Jersey after 1. And then Carolina at least got this tied up. Jacob Slavin got his second in the postseason with Jordan Martinook, his 7th assist. Martinook's been brilliant. Timo Meier scored on the power play. It was a 2-1 lead for New Jersey with Doug Hamilton and Jack Hughes getting the primary and secondary assists at 7:15. And then Brent Burns, unassisted goal, his second in the playoffs, tied it at 2. We were scoreless in the third until Jesper Fast got a power play from Jesperi Kotkaniemi and Shane Gostisbehere. The Carolina Hurricanes are moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they await the winner of the Florida Panthers and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Ian, while I have you here, I'm just going to go ahead and ask you this. Let me make sure I pull this up really quickly. It's Panthers Maple Leafs. They're going back to Scotiabank. Who do you got tomorrow?
Given that home ice advantage has done jack squat the entire playoffs, I'm still predicting the Panthers are going to win this series. I'm still predicting it.
You're taking the Panthers tomorrow in Toronto?
Yeah, because again, there's literally been no home ice advantage has been at least for this playoffs, it's been disproven, because how many teams have won their games on the road? It almost doesn't feel real how many teams have won road games.
Well, I can tell you one thing, as far as Toronto fans are concerned, they'll tell you they've been awful on home ice. Florida has been very good no matter where they play on that side. They've been down. Again, they were down 3-1 on that side of Boston, and then they're going to put Toronto in that same hole and try to finish them off. And again, I wish this game wasn't so late because I have stuff to do on Saturday and Sunday. But for the Oilers and the Golden Knights, I've only been able to watch the handful of highlights here and there. There's been some hacking and slashing, and things have gotten pretty nasty. What is it? Pietrangelo and Evander Kane are both suspended for tomorrow's game?
No. Not Evander Kane. Darnell Nurse.
Darnell Nurse and Pietrangelo.
Pietrangelo, the 2-hit slash for. I can't remember what Darnell Nurse is suspended for. I think he had a dirty hit I don't know. I think he laid a dirty hit on someone.
I did see a cross check by Matthias Ekholm on Mark Stone, and he's the one that's got the back issues, and they got him pretty good multiple times, and that wasn't cold. And I know a lot of the fans can be outraged as far as player base and where they are. Main thing is, if the refs want to squash any of this stuff, you got to call it right away. Otherwise, the players are just going to continue to do what they do if you're not going to call it. It's just about as easy as you can say it. So I want to flip this back to the NBA side really quickly while I have you as well here, Ian, on this side. It is, we're going to make sure that we throw this out there for everybody. It's a 3-2 series lead for Miami. They are in Miami. They're American Airlines Arena. They're going to be playing the Knicks. Do they beat New York at 7:30 Eastern tomorrow?
Yes. Yes. I don't see the Knicks pulling this off. The way the Heat play at home is, it's not like the way the Heat play at home is different than when they play on the road. I know that's an obvious statement, but look at it this way, right? I'm pretty sure they won both of the games that were on their home court against the. Let me go ahead and fact check that before I say anything else. But if I remember correctly, it either went Knicks Heat. Hang on a second. Let me just look at that.
I saw the article that you posted here and shared with them on Twitter space. For everybody on the YouTube side, if you bounce in and out, if you listen to this late, it shows that Doc Rivers has lost 9 times in a Game 7, more than any other head coach. So that doesn't bode well for Philadelphia against Boston.
You know, everyone disagrees with me, but Doc Rivers is if you follow football, like American football at all, John.
Sure.
Rivers is the Mike McCarthy of the NBA.
He's a good regular season coach, but he doesn't do anything in the playoffs. Is that what you're telling me?
Except for 1 year.
Yeah.
He actually, if you look at their careers, I mean, look at it. So you had 1 year where you had a loaded roster. For McCarthy, it was Aaron Rodgers and one of the best offenses at that time. I think it was Jordy Nelson, Donald Driver, Greg Jennings. I forget who the tight end was, but and a great offensive line, and the running back, I forget who the running back was, but you know, on that defense, Clay Matthews, Charles Woodson, BJ Raji. I mean, you had a stacked team, and for Doc Rivers, when he was with the Celtics, well, shoot, we hear about it all the time. Paul Pierce, Jason Terry, Rajon Rondo, Kevin Garnett,
Ray Allen.
Ray Allen.
No, he had a stacked team, was able to get the job done one time. That's it, and that's all. No, I agree with you on that side. And even on the same side, if you look at it now for McCarthy, you could say and argue that maybe some of the Dallas Cowboys teams have underachieved. I know what the joke is about Dallas on that, and I get it. But he's always had good rosters no matter where he's been.
Yeah, so Alex sent me a DM. He said, I had the feeling in me that Celtics Sixers is not about who wants it more, but about who wants to choke it away more. And I have to agree.
Yikes.
Like, no one wants to win that series. Everyone they just want to know who wants to screw up worse.
So we're going to take you back into the play-by-play now. I'll turn this back up here on the TV side, just a tad here. So we got about 19:30 left to go here in the second. John here with you alongside Ian on this side as he's going to join me here for this solo call. Robertson right out in front, a huge save, and now it's in the net, and Philip Grubauer was stuck in no man's land, and Dallas has a 3-0 lead. They are running over the Kraken right now. Joe Pavelski, who else? His 7th of the series, and it's a 3-0 lead for Dallas on their 5th shot of the game. May we see the Martin Jones sighting? I imagine that's got to happen quickly. So just joining right in on the rush, an easy as ever rebound This will fall to Joe Pavelski. He lifts it high, and then Pavelski not only lifts it high, he's the first to get to his own rebound. And he scores the 7th in the series. And I know I mentioned this on the YouTube side, but I'll throw this out there again as it's 3-0. I said, does whoever win this game 5, Kraken or Stars, do you think they win this series? And you all say yes right now. And Dallas is well out in front as this goes in the high slot and picked up now by Jaden Schultz. Seattle has got to get this next goal or this might be done. This is sent now here for Schultz, and this is turned away. Try to get picked up by Evgeny Dadonov, and the third line has got now. As they'll play this off the red line, this will stay in. Tanev now will be spun back in his own end. This is flipped back in. And now this will go away from McCann. Here's a long stretch pass, about 80 feet. Tyler Seguin off the backhand. He'll spin. We'll try to throw it to an open right side dot. As this is recollected now off of the chase, it'll be Thomas Harley. He's been really good since moved to the second line from game 4. He's already got a point in this game as well. As this is spun in off the kick plate, Ottinger will take a look at it again. Jake Ottinger, he stopped 14 out of 14. Grubauer's only stopped 4 out of 7. As this is flipped away from Matty Beniers, but he'll reload off the pass. Cartier. Eberle now. Here's a good look at pass. Scores! Larsson! And Seattle gets a goal they desperately needed. It's 3-1.
You know, John, listen, for all the Greek mythology buffs out there, I was about to say Dallas looks to be playing the role of Perseus, but this time the Kraken seems to be fighting back.
That was a great pass, and it started into the neutral zone for Matty Beniers, and then once he got it up there, it was Eberle sending it across for Larsson, and it did start with a Matty Beniers pass. This pass for Eberle goes between the legs, finds Larsson. He lifts it high near the right side of the cage. Larsson at least stops the bleeding, but Dallas is still up by 2. But again, it's 2 goals with not even 2 minutes. As this is sent back in, and Dallas is offsides, tied to Landry. Went too quick, and we get a stoppage with 17:55.
But as our mutual friend Alex always says, the most dangerous lead in hockey is a 2-goal lead. And right, it's back to a 2-goal lead.
And we're going to have to see how this changes in from game 4, because Dallas raced out to a 4-goal lead. Seattle cut it within 2 before it ended up being 3 on that side. They made a push, but the thing is, for Seattle, did they leave it too late? At least now there's tons of time in the second, but you feel like they still have to get the second goal. I know that I keep repeating that side of it, but I just don't think you can afford to go down by more than 2 against this Dallas team, because they do everything well that Seattle does on that side. And again, you can't discredit what Dallas has done. They're probably one of the best teams left in this Western Conference, and everybody wants to crown the Edmonton Oilers, but I would say Dallas across is a just better team all the way around, as this is flipped in and now recollected by Brandon Tanev. Tanev now will gain the entry as it will fall back to Ryan Suter. 17:05 left to go in the second. It was Wenberg that tried to play it out in front, but it bounced off his left skate. Now Vince Dunn try to send this back around the kick plate as it's recollected by Jaden Schultz. Now off the D to the point. Here's a wrist shot. And Ottinger, he saw that the whole way, and he gloved it down to get a stoppage with 16:55. So what say you, Ian, as we get a little bit of a stoppage? What teams do you like that are left in the East, and what team do you like that's left in the West?
So the East, let's see. Well, the Hurricanes are good. Well, the Hurricanes are going to the next round, and I've already said that I think the Panthers are going to. I already said the Panthers. The West, despite them being down right now, I still like the Kraken. I don't know why. I don't have any data to back that up. It's just a feeling at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I like Vegas.
That's it. That's been a series that's gone either way on that side.
Yeah, and mostly I like Vegas their time is like they're running out of time. You know, they don't have a lot to give up to keep revamping the roster for all in pushes year after year, and
Right.
they're gonna have to fit the music eventually, and as they, you know, even though it doesn't do much, having a cup to try and scoop out the water while you're sinking, it helps.
Yes, it does. And the assets that you're talking about, when they keep with all in pushes, oh my goodness, that's a good hit against Wenberg. Yeah, you're going to run out of assets to essentially get away from that sinking ship, because Vegas has been trying to chase this cup ever since 2018 when they lost to the Capitals. This is going to be a penalty against Dallas. They sent one of the Seattle Kraken players absolutely like a springboard. Tyler Seguin, you're going to take a look at this on the iPad, and you get a chance to look at this on the TNT side. Was that a little bit of a charge, a little bit of a cross-check into the back? Either way, that is a penalty against us. Tolvanen got absolutely upended near the right side of the neutral zone. And it's going to be a power play for the Seattle Kraken, and they have a chance to draw within one.
Is this the first power play for the Kraken?
This is the first power play of the game for either team.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, well, the Kraken, a 5-on-4 advantage. Take it.
And they didn't even call the hit right now on the TNT side. It says Yanni for too many men. So it looked like a charge that wasn't called, but nonetheless, Seattle has a power play. But who knows about officiating nowadays? This is sent back here for Bjorkstrand, and now Schultz, as it's Jordan Eberle. Jared McCann's back out there, the 40-goal scorer. He's made his appearance in the second straight game for taking the Kill McCarr hit from Game 5. And now it's Schultz back into the neutral zone. They'll look to start again. 13.8% on specialty teams for Seattle on the power play. Not very good, but their penalty kill has been exceptional when it was awful during the regular season. Here's Schultz, and now Tolvanen will spin it here for Jaden Schultz, former St. Louis Blue. Now Jared McCann from the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's a chance for Schultz. Here's McCann walking in, and he shot that one high. That was a bomb of a wrist shot. But this will go back to McCann. And between the circles again, here's the blast of the slapper. This goes up the left shoulder of Jake Ottinger. And this is centered out front. Good setup. And Tolvanen gets absolutely robbed by Jake Ottinger as it's sent back down the ice. Here's a long stretch pass from Grubauer. He gets it from 100 feet. And Seattle tries to gain the entry. Here's a stick drag, but I think they're going to blow that one off sides. And we'll get a neutral zone draw. That was a great save by Jake. So we'll take a look at it. So they show this stretch play, and that would actually have been blocked as well. I'm going to see who was in front of that one. Was it Miro Heiskanen? I got a piece of it, because if it was, that was rough already. But I think one of the Dallas Stars actually got that before it even hit Jake Ottinger. Might have actually got a piece of him as well. So Ty Cartier. We'll find it. But this will fall back to Seattle in the neutral zone. It's Vince Dunn. As they're getting a chance to take his time and bounce off the referee, but Matty Beniers will locate again across the red line. He gets stick lifted. And now the other way, Roddick Foxa. He'll just kill some time on the short-handed unit, as this will bounce back to Matty now. Former U of M man. And this is picked up here for Vince Dunn. This will sauce this out of the air, trying to find Ty Cartier. Sent back around the inboards across the corner. Yanni Gourde trying to get to it now of Oliver Bjorkstrand, as it's picked up here by Alex Wenberg. He'll spin near the left side of the wall, and this is bounced off a skate. This isn't collected by Dadonov, but he gets a reverse hit nonetheless. He might skate away with the puck, but Seattle says no. They got other ideas. Here's Bjorkstrand off a 1-on-3, wins the battle, and this will go to Ottinger. And now Bjorkstrand doesn't like the fact that he was getting pushed a little bit by Suter. We're going to go to commercial break, however, before things get a little too spicy.
Some good games in there for the Kraken, but once again, they could tap in. And look, hey John, this may seem like a crazy statement, but if the Kraken don't score another goal in this period, I don't see them scoring 2 goals in the third because the way Dallas is defending them and taking the puck away, it doesn't seem like one period will be enough to erase a 2-goal deficit.
I don't think it's crazy at all, Ian. In fact, I agree with you on that side. I don't see that happening again. I know Dallas, they got a big one the other day in the solo coverage that I had on that, so I'm just glad to have you here today. But I think they kind of found something. And I think that they're going to continue to push on that rope, and they're going to keep taking it away. And Seattle's going to run out of leeway at some point. So, again, if they don't score another goal here, I agree with you. If they don't get another one to get within one, I don't think they're going to get the third period explosion to overwhelm Dallas. I don't see it either.
Oh, hey, John?
Yeah.
Those are Hurricanes, man.
We can definitely get them in there as long as they don't run all over the Cole side of it. I'm good with it. I trust your judgment.
Instead of go ahead and request up and take a lap.
I've already requested him, yes, we just won. New Jersey.
Congrats.
Thank you. I hope the Stars win.
Do you have a is Dallas your Western Conference team?
Well, I don't really have a Western Conference team, so I am not going to go with Seattle or Dallas. But I mean, I would love to see maybe Dallas make it, but I'm also kind of worried about the team, the Edmonton.
Oilers?
Yes.
Although, a 2006 rematch?
I would love a 2006 rematch. Yes, that would definitely work. But I don't see it happening, though.
So we're going to pick it back up in the play-by-play here. It's 12:40 left to go in the second. Dallas still up 3-1. Adam Larsson got the latest goal at a minute 59 off a ripper of a slap shot as it spun now here for McCann. Scores! Speeding and shooting to the traffic, and Larsson might have got his second.
This looks like the same kind of goal scored by the Golden Knights. Zach Whitecloud just spins around, rips a shot, and I think it was tipped in by Ivan Barbashev. This time, I think. Hold on, I'm watching the replay.
Did that bounce off Hanley's foot or Larsson's stick? Either way, it's in the net.
I think Larsson might have redirected it with his stick.
Well, it's going to be 2 goals for Adam Larsson. He's got 3 in the last 2 games. And Ian, you just said it. They needed to get this next goal, and Seattle did. It's a 3-2 game. And here we go again. Jaden Schultz with the long flip as this is picked up here. McCann. This will be sent back down for Jamie Alexiak, former Star. He gets to the contact, and Seattle will try to take this right to left. In this second period, they are in the road whites with the black pants and the teal, and Dallas at home with the victory green. It's been iced by Seattle, so they can't change their offensive personnel. But it's a 3-2 game now. And I might have some fireworks in the background, so I'm going to have to close my window. I apologize. Oh, I couldn't wear the Matty Beniers jersey today. It's just too hot on that side. So for those that are wondering on the YouTube side of the stream, no jerseys there, just a short sleeve shirt and shorts. A little too hot, but it's 19-8 on the shot board here. It is Seattle in front on that side. 11:45 left to go in the second as this is picked up here by Dallas in their own end. They'll get to the neutral zone now. Get it to Dunn. Will hold up. He gets taken down. Vince Dunn, I thought, might have got a piece of his skates there on the back end, but it's not called by the Zebras, and this is sent back around the inboards here. As Dallas with the captaincy and Jamie Benn. Be patient here with Miro Heiskanen as they'll go D-to-D. This is blocked out in front. Carson Soucy will clear it, but he doesn't clear it out of the zone. He just sends it back in deep. And now Justin Schultz, the former Washington Capital, will watch this go out of the neutral zone now, but there comes Dallas again. Ty Dellandrea, he's back on the fourth line since recovering from flu-like symptoms. Mason Marchment draws out of the lineup. This blocks is out in front of Philip Grubauer, but he saves it with the left pad. We got 10:50 left to go in the second. It's a 3-2 game. Dallas out in front. Radek Faksa with a 5-hole chance that's stopped by Grubauer. And now Matty Beniers will try to push this the other way, but it's intercepted by Matty, but he's off sides. And we'll get a neutral zone draw with 10:44 in the second. So I hope no matter what ends up happening today, Ian, on this side, I hope that you're having a good one. I appreciate you joining me here today. Again, I can't always get you in because I have sometimes we got Cooper Hopkins in on that side. It's kind of a two-man booth, but whenever I'm in here by myself, I can definitely get you in here to share some thoughts and watch the game and do all that. But sometimes it just depends on who's in, as this is going to be a defensive zone draw. Yanni Gourde will try to get this off the stick tie-up, and it'll be Brandon Tanev. Turbo will get a chance to race for it. Thomas Harley off the drop passes. It's recollected now by Tanev. Tanev here with Harley as Tanev gets taken down. He's near the left side of the glass, and a whistle. It's going to stop play. I don't know if this is going to be a penalty call or whether or not there just wasn't puck movement and toward the left side of the boards, where we're going to get it blown dead here.
Let's see. Well, currently they're showing the replay of the Adam Larsson goal.
That was just before that, but it looks like they just had the play blown dead because the puck wasn't being moved around from the board. So we get a neutral zone draw now, and this is recollected for Seguin, picked up here by Donato, but he turns it over. But Seattle's got the reinforcements back. As Yanni Gourde will try to get to it, but Dallas holds it in. Here's a chance that goes off the left pad of Philip Grubauer. Yanni Gourde still tries to circle around to this, but Dallas will find it with Harley. Seattle scored 2 goals in the last 5:30. Again, Dallas had scored 2 goals in about a minute 30 to open this game. As this is sent back in, Donato will race for it against Harley. He does keep it alive off the forehand. Now he just hits it off the back end of the skate for Max Domi. He's centered the other way now, as this is recollected. Ty Dellandrea will try to locate it. Joe Pavelski stuck out there with Jamie Alexiak. He will find it loose. Here's a good flip pass. Settled down by Yanni Gourde, but we'll have to just gain the red line. Ali Tolvanen will take a look, but this will go back to Yanni Hakanpää of Dallas, as this is collected by Jamie Alexiak. He'll win the race to the puck. Benn trying to bother him, but it's turned over. And Hintz. A hold's going to be called, and we're going to see who it's going to be on. I am making sure I look on the ESPN box score, but we are going to get a penalty call. We'll see if this will be for Seattle or for Dallas. And I'm seeing a hold on my screen against Roope. Hintz, I believe, takes the stick out of the hand of Jimmy Alexiak. So when we go to break, I think Seattle's going to go back to the power play yet again.
Well, then. Well, we'll see what we do with it. Sorry, I'm in between. While I'm on mute, I'm taking a look at that 2006 Carolina Hurricanes documentary because anytime there's an obscure, what I believe is like an obscure title win, I like to see how it happened.
It's always good to know because sometimes, especially throughout the broadcast, seeing on that side, they'll always make you remember history, and you'll remember that off the top of your head because you just studied it. That's good on you.
I mean, I had no idea that on top of guys like Brind'Amour, Williams, Stahl, and Ward, halfway through the season, they traded for Doug Weight.
He was a good one.
Was one of the better was one of the better second, third line centers in the league at that time.
Excuse me. Roll it back, everybody. Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more. And it's so absorbent, you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Coach Jared McCann returned to your lineup 2 nights ago. You managed his minutes in that game. How are you utilizing him tonight?
Well, he's jumped into a little different spot for us here. We bumped him up a couple lines. We started off well. We got ourselves in a little hole there.
So I'm going to double check this once we finish off this game. And I know we're 9:19 in the second, but right now the ESPN box is Jared McCann from Yanni, Gourde, and Brandon Tanev, but the TNT side had Adam Larsson with his second. What we do know was a spin shot by Jared McCann. He was just trying to find some space, shot a 5-hole, and it went into the traffic of Jake Ottinger. We don't know if it got tipped out in front. So there's your not so much of a clarification just yet.
Yeah, I could have swore I saw the tip of the stick redirect the puck into the net.
That's what I thought I saw too. So I'm just throwing it out there right now from the two differentiators. It is a Seattle power play. Luke Glendening. This goes away from the webbing of the catching glove from Phil Grubauer and picked up now by Seattle. So it's Larsson. We'll send this one back. Roope Hintz going to be busted for hold against Vince Dunn. That's why Seattle's on their second power play. And yet another offsides. Seattle's going to need to practice that a little bit. It's the fourth time they've done so in this game as we get a stoppage with 8:50, or better yet, this might actually be a 4-on-4. I'm going to have to take a look at it. So Eberle, an illegal pick there by Justin Schultz on Radek Faksa. That is a very poor penalty to take if you're Seattle, so that is going to negate the power play here. And then Dallas will have an abbreviated power play for about 29 seconds. That's the last thing you really want. So I'll pull back up these rosters here. So offsetting penalties, and that is about as bad as it gets.
Yeah, especially when you're down 1 goal and you're given a power play, and then you don't have it anymore.
Yeah, no, that's a play that didn't even need to happen, and there was no danger on that side, unless Justin Schultz got tied up in the wrong spot. But you got to know where you were on the ice. This is sent back around now for Vince Dunn. It's 4-on-4. We'll see who this favors for a minute 10. Winberg now racing on the left side of the red line, trying to play it off his forehand and shoot off the outside of the cage, but this will allow Dallas. This is a 3-on-3. But Dallas will lose this puck here to Vince Dunn. Plays this nicely off the backhand and will settle it back down off the back skate. 55 seconds left to go to work with on the 4-on-4. John Underwood in the play-by-play, being joined by Ian as this is picked up now. Tolvanen. Great move. He goes off the outside of the post. Tolvanen just missed it. And now this is sent back in off the backhand, but it's picked up here by Dallas. It's a 3-on-2 in the middle of the slot. Here's a chance that goes off the blocker and up high off Grubauer. And we get a stoppage with 7:54. L.A. Tolvanen almost tied this game. So we'll take a look at these replays now near the right side of the dot. This is the previous drop pass. I think just went off the blocker at Philip Grubauer. It was Max Domi. Again, between Domi and Game 4 and Game 5, he's been all around this puck right now. He's been one of the better Dallas Stars. Again, everybody on Dallas has been doing a good job as they win this draw. It's a 4-on-4. They got this in the offensive end for about 25 more seconds, which we're on the 4-on-4, and they're going to abbreviate a power play. This goes off the right pad of Philip Grubauer. Recollected now by Matty as he's got it. Now he's racing in off the backhand. He'll gain the entry. Nice stick drag, but Matty just needed to get some teammates, and everyone else was taking a change. As this is recollected now, Larsson will try to find it again. Larsson may have a pair of goals, he might not, but at least he's partially responsible for both of those. We can say that sidestep was Roope Hintz. This will be a Dallas power play for about 25 seconds. Seattle's got the puck. They can clear this down if they want to without any penalty. Yanni Gourde off the chip and chase, and this is sent back in. Yanni Gourde will be the first to get to it as Miro Heiskanen will try to get this loose near the right side of the boards. Sent back around, but recollected now for Harley. 8 for 22 at home on the power play here for Dallas. 12 of 35 in total. As it's Tyler Seguin. And on the right side wall. Seguin now. Roope Hintz. And Adam Larsson will take a look at it. This bounces dangerously out in front. But Seattle's got a couple of stick blades. As Carson Soucy will relocate, and this will just get spun away. Back pass will be an opportunity for Yanni Gourde to slap shot this thing around the neutral zone and gain the entry as Miro Heiskanen will send it back to his defensive partner, who is normally Ryan Suter on this side, especially on the playoffs. You want to go for the youngster and the mix of the veteran defensive presence. Vince Dunn, full spin. Now McCann will try to get this, but the puck bounces high. Again, we are on an ice surface level. It can do that sometimes, as this is picked up here for Seguin. And now Robertson, they try a combination play, but it gets turned over. And Vince Dunn now with a 100-foot pass. Bounces off the stick, and this will go for an ice. We get a stoppage with 6:01 in the second. They're showing Miro Heiskanen now, especially in his full cage from the Game 4 side when he entered. The way that he just moves this puck around, especially on the power play, that's what Dallas really needs from Miro. And again, he can always act like an extra forward when you have a defenseman that is as good as he is, and you can play that kind of role. You always have the complete luxury and the complete confidence of somebody like that, especially when they can skate like the wind. And that's exactly what he can do. As this is picked up off of the face-off here for Dallas. Here's a rolling puck that goes into the neutral zone. He's got 8 assists, 6 on the power play, 18 blocks. He averages about 20 minutes of ice time. Jimmy Benn, as he can't find it, and it's relocated by Dallas now. Sent down by the Dallas defense, but the shot goes wide at the right side of the wall. As Suter will find it. He'll flip it in an open area near the left dot. Seattle will have to spin back in around the corner. Jimmy Alexiak just trying to get through some body contact. 5:20 left to go in this second frame. The shots are 20-13. Dallas starting to catch up in that area, but Seattle has got closer on the scoreboard. They're only down 1 now. And Ian said you want to make sure to keep this within 1, not 2, because we're really confident. I wasn't either. That Seattle might get 2 in this third period unless they got up in a more manageable distance. It's a chance for Dunn. Now for Alex Wenberg, as it's recollected for McCann. He'll stop. He'll try to pick it up with the help of Dunn, but it bounced off the right side of his skate. And now here's a stretch pass into the red line now. Yanni Gourde tries to get through some body contact as Dallas will flip this in the offensive end. It's with Joe Pavelski. Again, he's got 7 in this series alone. As this is sent in for Lindell. We'll have to recollect this in the defensive end. Down to 4:30 left to go in the second. This is going to get blown dead, and I believe it's going to be an ice against Dallas. We're going to stop it with 4:30 left to go in the second. So, John, here with you alongside Ian on that end. Tomorrow, your upcoming schedule. Again, I will be away until next week. Got some Waterford Sharks assignments locally, but it'll be Panthers, Maple Leafs at 7 Eastern, and then Oilers, Golden Knights at 10 Eastern. Everything else is TBD, especially when you get to Sunday just yet.
Well, there won't be any spaces for any of those games because Alec is going on a trip to Europe. So the only broadcast that will be going on will be by you and whoever shows up for me whenever you post whenever you start counting.
Yeah, I will try to do something maybe Sunday night, but I do have a Saturday and Sunday assignment that I have to do locally for the hockey team that I work with. But we'll see after that. Maybe Sunday night, if we do get to a game 70, and if you're around, if I see you in there, I might shoot you a message. But that will be double duty for me on the weekend. Maybe 3 games in 2 days. So we'll see what my energy level is going to be. I think that's probably a graduation present for Mr. Alec Nava, which would be cool. That's pretty cool. I remember my graduation. It's been so many years from now because, again, I'm a little bit longer in the tooth. I'm 36. But on that side, I remember that well, so I hope that he enjoys himself in Europe. So we'll take a look here. I'm going to just type up a couple of these extra notes, and I'll just take a look as far as what I got. And I'll just close this recorder up real quick, and we'll get it started again. So I'm going to refresh this to see one more time on the ESPN side. It's still got McCann from Gourde and Tanev at 7:30. So when we get to the intermission, I'll type that up officially. As far as we give you the hockey reset, I'll go look at the NBA and the commercial break. Oh my goodness. Well, doesn't look like Phoenix. Again, I know we're not even at half yet, but it doesn't look like Phoenix is going to force a game 7 because they're getting their barn doors blown off. It's 73-45 with 2:08 in the second. And Denver looks to be going to the Western Conference Finals. The only question is which team is going to join them. Are the Golden State Warriors going to pull an upset again to try to force another game? Or the Lakers going to close it out? Because honestly, I'll tell you this. I know my partner, Nick Edwards, I've been friends with him for a long time. Sometimes he joins in the basketball broadcast. He's a lifer for Celtics, even though he lives in Kansas on that side. But I will say this. If we get an Embiid-Jokic final, I'm actually going to be intrigued by that because we get a chance to watch big men go to work. And especially when it's a full three-point shooting, I wouldn't even mind that matchup if we get it.
Yeah, but so for the Nuggets, the top 3 scorers from lowest to highest: Jamal Murray with 16, Nikola Jokic with 20, and wait, what the heck? Contavious Caldwell-Pope with 21.
You're telling me that the former Pistons got 21 points?
KCP with 21 points is the highest scorer on Denver at the moment.
Well, that's big scoring for them right now. We're going to get back into that. Here's a chance right in the middle of the slot. Big save by Ottinger. We're going to talk about that when we get into the second period intermission. We got 3:20 left to go here in this contest between Dallas and Seattle. Again, Ian's going to be joining me here for this for as long as he can be here. I'll be here till this game is done. Matty Beniers will play this now. There's a chance for Larsson. Again, he's feeling pretty good right now. Seattle is 24-0 when trailing by 3 or more goals this season. They have yet to get a win, but 3+ is a huge differential. But now they're within 1. Maybe they can buck the trend. Jamie Alexiak now can't gain the red line as his bounce is off of Harley, so that's why it's not iced. Thomas Harley now as he's got promoted to the second line for Peter DeBoer's squad. Here comes the bomb. This rattles around the kick plate. Seattle will try to race for it as this is recollected by Harley, trying to keep it alive off the backhand. It's Jared McCann. Jared McCann will take a look at it now as Wenberg will send this out in front. McCann will try to locate this. Harley just can't get out of the way right now. The puck just seems to find him. Wyatt Johnston off a 1-on-1, and Jamie Alexiak will use that reach to try to find it. Centered out in front dangerously by Wyatt Johnston, and he almost caught Jimmy Benn for a free ride for a goal. This is Harley. We'll spin this back around, but it's turned over. Seattle all over this puck. Max Domi has to go back in his own end, recollect. He'll stutter stop, and he'll get a chance to get started now left to right. Harley will play this to the defensive partner and across the red line. And now here's a chip as this is relocated by Yanni Gourde, but Jake Ottinger plays it just in time. The reinforcements come as it's sent the other way. Ryan Donato will flip it into the left side of the red line as it's Harley. Recollected now by Seattle. They stay on side. Justin Schultz will take a look. That's Lindell here for Harley, and it's flipped down the ice. Dallas just was under siege. There really is nothing else you could say. They couldn't make any line changes, couldn't do anything else, and maybe they're going to have some winded bodies as they've iced it, and Seattle has an opportunity here with 1:30 left to go in the second to tie this game at 3. So we will pull up those box scores and we will give you a scoring reset when we get to the end of this second period. I'll type in the rest of my notes as far as the game story. All that stuff will be ready to go with the play-by-play when this game is done, however long it takes. This could be a game that goes into OT. We never know now, especially since Seattle made a run at it. Jordan Eberle wins the draw. Matty Beniers will try to fire it into the traffic, and this bounces off some Dallas bodies. Picked off the skate blade nicely by Beniers, eludes a hit, and this is dumped in. Ty Cartier, the 22-year-old from the Coachella Firebirds. He gets it now. Eberle off the outside of the cage. He tries to send this back around the embankment. Jordan Eberle will get to it now. Play this off the backhand here for Pavelski, as this just eludes the stick of Adam Larsson. He's got it now on his own end. And we got 55 seconds which to work with here. In the second, it's turned over, and Foxell gets taken down by Yanni Gourde. Is there going to be a penalty called against Seattle? The fans want it. I don't think they're going to get it, though, as this is Dallas. In the offensive end, Joe Pavelski trying to keep this alive off the spin. And it's recollected now by the Stars. Here's a pass into the high slot. Saved by Grubauer amongst the redwood trees. That was Suter that let it go. And it's going to be an offensive zone draw with 30 seconds much to work with in the second period. So I can't necessarily tell you that Philip Grubauer has settled down because it's still 12 out of 15, but Jake Ottinger, he's faced some of the better of the chances. And I would say that Jake Ottinger probably this game should be 3-3. He's at least saved one goal. It's a defensive zone draw. Wenberg will be set to take it. You can't win it as Dallas fires it quickly, but this bounces off the bodies near the face-off dot near the right dot, but it's turned over. Here's Dallas. Power move. Hands up in the air. And we'll see who this is going to be. So we will get a penalty. And again, if there's no goal within 16 seconds, this will be a carryover power play time. And I think this is going to go against Seattle. So Dallas will get a power play with 16.1 left to go in the first. John out here with you alongside Ian. I got the play-by-play. He's got the color side. He's just moving in and out here on this side. Happy to be joined by him though, as this is picked up off the trip. Seattle caught this right in front, and it was Robertson that was trying to go to the net firm presence to get a chance. He just got taken down before he ever got the opportunity to do so.
You know, John, just before the action gets started again, I was thinking about it, right? You know how Doug Emmerich just recently retired?
Yeah.
I can only imagine how Pat. I can only imagine what his reaction would have been if he would have called the Carter Verhaeghe overtime winner.
If he would have called that, there'd been a lot more excitement on that side. Doc Emmerich was a classy guy, and he knew how to make the game exciting for everybody that was listening and watching it. He was always very good at what he did.
Yeah. It's hard losing a commentator like that because you're wondering, whoever picks up the mantle next, they're really gonna have a hard time. They may have a hard time winning over the populace who watch hockey and grew up with Doc Emmerich calling the games.
You're not wrong on that side, Ian. I can definitely tell you that. When I think about some of the other names, and again, I know they're not all hockey related, but like Al Michaels, I know he's going to be done. He's really old on that side, but he did the Miracle on Ice stuff. He's done a lot of NFL football. Brent Musburger, he used to do a lot of football stuff. Back before any of us were born, he did NBA on CBS on that side. He covered that stuff for a long time, so we're losing a lot of the greats. And the only problem, and again, I know ESPN, they always consider themselves the worldwide leader in sports. I don't think that moniker is something that they hold up to anymore. But you can't continue to have these guys that have no experience that come in there and try to be able to call games. I'm not saying I could do a much better job. I mean, hell, I got cerebral palsy, so it'd be hard for me to move around and do all the other things to travel and this and that. But I love doing what I do on that side. But you got to be able to be prepared. You got to be able to show passion and intensity. And when you can't do that and you don't show that in the moment, or you're just too biased toward one team, it's something that I don't want to listen to. I'll just be honest.
Yeah. I've been listening to Allie commentate the games for a while now, and the same passion I would hear out of Doc Emmerich, I hear out of him, and it's actually I found this out. You mentioned it. He graduated college. He graduated with a degree in media production.
Mm-hmm.
So I told him, hey, listen, what you do is you take your past broadcasts, and I can bring up a few of them that are that I was in on and are my personal favorites. you clip some of the best moments from those broadcasts and just have those clips on standby when someone asks you to reduce some of your stuff.
That's a good idea, and that's something that I definitely have to do, especially from last year of the Stanley Cup Finals. In between that, because there's been some good ones there, and I just throw that all in the database for the Hopeful Sports Guy stuff. I upload it all the time when I do it, whether it's good or bad, and then that way you have that there. You got the memories, and you got to be able to have it when you have people come talk to you. So that's always a good idea for anyone listening on that side. Because again, I know it's not paid on that side, and I'm not complaining. But when I was doing this stuff over here for the Waterford Sharks, because they live in Michigan on that side, the only reason why I ended up picking up to do a couple games like that, because I knew a buddy from high school, and he noticed that I've been doing a lot of hockey broadcasts. I cover baseball, hockey, basketball, and the college stuff. But he noticed I was doing a lot of those. He goes, "Do you want to come down and cover some games for the team?" I said, "Sure, why the hell not?" So. I mean, you never know who's listening and who's watching.
Yeah, I mean, John, personally, I think you do a good job commentating these games. Like it's easy to follow. You know, even when I'm not watching, I have a clear picture of what's going on. You know, you and I I mean, sure, it's easy to say you could do it at the big league level. I fully believe both of you could. Because, number one, and I get it, it's a different animal when you're doing it live versus watching it on a screen.
Sure.
Because everything is happening all at once. But really, you know, the action is not too fast to where you can't follow it when it's on the screen. I mean, I don't know. Because personally, I feel like some of the commentators that are for that do the national broadcasts,
yeah,
some of them just aren't that good at it. Whereas I feel like some of the radio guys outside of Jack Edwards,
of course, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there are a ton of radio announcers for these teams that could do well at the national level. I mean, this isn't hockey related, but there's a commentator that does college basketball and some pro basketball and pro football. I think you've heard of him, a guy by the name of Kevin Harlan.
Kevin Harlan's excellent.
Yeah, he started by calling games for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
He was a Chiefs broadcaster, and and he made the jump to the big leagues, and he did great. You know, I wish they would look at some of these radio guys and bring them up.
You're not wrong, Ian, on that side, because I definitely agree with you. The other one I think of that's a national broadcaster that's pretty good, that does all the same stuff as Ian Eagle. He's pretty good too. Again, Kevin Harlan's probably a step above on that side. I think he's one of my favorite ones. But yeah, no, those guys that do that, and again, I hear some stories about some people that worked in the ticket in Dallas. I forget I think its name is Mark Followell. He does the Dallas Mavericks play-by-play. And he started as a radio host in the ticket in Dallas, and then he ended up working his way up to the NBA play-by-play for the Mavs. He's pretty good on that side. So the thing for me, because this brings home to your point, is I kind of started from graduating in journalism, which I know is a stupid field to graduate from when you think about it, because there's no really jobs open for that. But I started with that, and then
don't say that, because I have a couple of friends who graduated with a degree in journalism. journalism. Actually, one of them, when it's in season, one of them's going to be working with Patriots.
Hey, if you can make something happen out of your piece of paper, more power to you. I've been trying to do that too, but I know what you're saying. That's the whole thing. You got just because you get the graduation slip, that's only the first part of the battle. So that's what you've got to understand. But yeah, so no, I started with that, and then my story was because it was just at Oakland University here in Michigan, just a mid-major school. But I had a class with Mark Champion, who does the Pistons games on the radio. He used to work with the Lions, and he told me honestly, he's like, you're really rough around the edges, and you got to work on a few things. But he goes, I appreciate the passion and the energy. He's like, keep practicing your craft and work on it, and see how far you can get with it. And at least he gave me some confidence to think that I was good enough at it. Because if I truly sucked, I felt like he would tell me, you suck and don't do this anymore. So,
yeah.
You know.
And while fun, that's the best kind of person.
Right.
Yeah, 14. But no, actually, another radio broadcaster that I think could be good at the big level, but just for football. If you've ever heard the play-by-play guy for the Vikings, Paul Allen, he is so fun to listen to.
I think I've heard some of his calls. I know he lives and dies with the Vikings. He's got the energy and all that stuff. He's pretty good.
So while we're at intermission, I'm gonna play two sound bites of his that I personally love listening to every time. This first one was a game they played against the 49ers back in 2009 when Brett Favre was the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the last play of the game. This is the radio call. Receivers left and right, coming out of the shotgun, just right. Third down, 12 seconds to go in the game. Now they're leading by 4. Favre got the pass, punts to the right, 8 seconds left. He gets it over pressure, fires to the end zone.
That's very good.
And so there's that one, and then here's one that's more recent.
Yeah.
That you'll probably know better. It's the Minneapolis Miracle. You know, the
Stephon Diggs.
They caught it over a guy.
Yeah.
And then ran it into the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hang on, I got to. But yeah, so it's because there's some commentators where you can listen to them, and you're not even a fan of the team, but the energy and the passion they have just puts a smile on your face.
I agree with you. That's what it's about.
But this is the Minneapolis Miracle. 3 receivers right, Leo and left. Marshawn Lattimore, 12 yards from Adam. Case on a deep drop, steps up to the pocket. Will fire to the right side. Ball by Diggs. Oh my God! Are you kidding me? It's a Minneapolis the second guy was this colored man, but you heard him. Are you kidding me? It's a Minneapolis Miracle.
Yeah, that's so much better than the Joe Buck one. There's like touchdown, no flags. Like I can't.
Sideline.
Yeah.
Touchdown. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Vikings win it.
Yeah, like so. Sometimes you might have a call, and I understand that he's factually correct about what he does, but he's so monotonous and boring. Like every time, and I don't watch a lot of Lions stuff, but I remember when Calvin Johnston used to be like, touchdown Megatron. And it's like, I don't care. There's no excitement.
Oh, see, Kansas City do not like Joe Buck because when the Royals made it to the World Series in 2014, all that man could talk about was Madison Bumgarner.
Oh God, yeah.
Like it got so bad that Royals fans were making jokes that Bumgarner should get a restraining order against Joe Buck.
It's funny, Ian, when you talk about that. Like I said, my friend that I've known for a long time, Nick, on that side, he's from Kansas City, and yeah, there are no Royals fans that could ever speak about Madison Bumgarner and not get angry.
Oh my God, it was. Look, and mostly we can't do it. We can't not get angry about it simply because Joe Buck hyped him up so much that he never shut up about him. Even when he wasn't pitching. I think every game that was played, every single game that was played, there was always a mention of Madison Bumgarner, whether he was pitching that night or not.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you because I heard that stuff. The funny thing I can share with you is this. I think every single one of us hate the Giants because I have a buddy from Texas. They lost the final pitch a couple times. I forgot what year it was when they had Darvish and all that. Final pitch a few times to the Giants. The Giants won the World Series. And then in 2012 or whatever it was when the Tigers made the World Series, I think it was 2006 and 2012. When they lost to the Giants, it was Pablo Sandoval crushing 3 home runs. He was so fat his belt came off as he busted 3 home runs and they killed us. I can't stand the Giants.
Yep. The Giants, for some reason, it was starting in 2010. It was always the even year.
Yes, it was.
They would win the World Series. They won one against the Rangers. They won one against the Tigers. They swept the Tigers.
Yep.
And they won it in 7 against the Royals. And Royals fans to this day, if you ask them, listen, ask a room full of Royals fans listen, was it the right, should Mike Jersley have sent Alex Gordon all the way home after he hit the ball in the bottom of the 9th? And you will have one of the most heated debates in that room you will ever encounter. So, and for reference, for anyone listening, Mike Jersley was the third base coach at the time of that World Series. And the situation I'm talking about was Alex Gordon hit a ball into the outfield. It got bobbled by, I gotta be honest, I forget who was in the outfield at the time. But the ball got bobbled. Gordon looked like he was going to round third, but Jersley put up the sign to stop. The next batter was Salvador Perez, but they put in Bumgarner to close it out for the final out.
Yep.
And it was a pop-up in foul territory. Giants win the 2014 World Series. Bob your uncle. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
But the debate was always. Now, to be fair, the debate kind of lost steam because the very next year the Royals went back and won the World Series. But at the time, the big question topic was should Mike Jersley have sent Alex Gordon all the way home? 90 feet away.
I think he pushed it knowing who's going to be coming back on the mound.
That's true, but at the time, Salvador Perez was.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, Salvador Perez was one of our most reliable hitters in the playoffs. Heck, he was the guy that hit the walk-off single against the Athletics in that crazy wild card game at the start of the 2014 playoffs. So if you needed a hit, it was Salvi. Because the thing about, for those who don't know much about baseball, Salvador Perez is one of those players that had the unique ability to absolutely smash terrible pitches.
Yes.
If you throw him a terrible pitch, he will swing and get a hit. It's unnatural.
One of the very best in the world at that, again, this is a Hall of Famer name, was Vladimir Guerrero. He used to do that too. He could hit that ball off his shoes and hit a home run.
Just instead of a bat, he just transmogrified it into a 9-iron.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, that was the hot debate at that time. Again, Royals go back to World Series, winning against the Mets, and then after that they get complacent, have the next 2 years are mediocre, and then they fall to crap the very next season because all their talent goes away. And now I'm depressed.
Well, I'm a Tigers fan on that side, so we can join in the misery together here, Ian. Both teams are bad.
Well, at least your Tigers have had some, at least they found some semblance of form as of late.
That's because the division is dog water, but you're correct. I'm going to get back into the play-by-play here. I don't want to make both of us very sad, but you're absolutely 100% correct in everything that you said. I know what the pain is, but hey, I mean, at least you won a World Series. I don't think the Tigers have won one since '84. They've lost a lot as well. So I'm going to pull this back up here for the Dallas roster. We're going to have a neutral zone draw. Dallas will be in the power play for minute 6. So Roope Hintz loses it, and this will be slap shot cleared down the ice. This will 5-5 hole of Jake Ottinger and recollected now by the Victory Green jerseys and the Dallas Stars. They are in the all green jerseys with the black pants mixed with the green striping, and Seattle in the road whites. As this is Pavelski. He'll glide back, but he didn't see who was back there. It was Seattle off the steal. And this is a chance maybe for something shorthanded. Yanni Gourde near the right side of the red one will try to recollect this here. So he gets taken down by Jamie Benn. And Miro Heiskanen now has this near the left side dot. He's patient off the stick drag. He's just working his way across into the neutral zone before he drops this one back to Thomas Harley. And Dallas's power play is very slow to get started here. They're 37-0-2 in the regular season, 6-0 in the playoffs when leading after the second period. So again, a couple of those, I think one of the overtime losses on that side was against the Calgary Flames. They had a couple absolute shootout games. I think one of them was a 7-6 in the regular season. As Wyatt Johnston will flip this back around, return back to even strength, is the Seattle Kraken. 18:05 left to go in the third. John Under within the play-by-play, being joined by Ian on this side. Thankful for that. As you get a chance to keep me some company here in this Game 5. The series is tied 2-2. No eliminations tonight. We get a chance to see who's going to take the definitive edge. And a 5-hole chance for Eberle gets cast aside by Jake Ottinger. This is and across the red line now, tied to Landria. We'll pick it up off the backhand, try to sit it out in front. It bounces off of one of the Seattle players. Everybody's down right now on the first line. Matty Beniers, Ty Cartier. Shot goes off Philip Grubauer. And this is picked up now off the long flip. Matty Beniers tried to locate it, but it's turned over. Dallas might get to it now, but tied to Landry takes an elbow up high. And this will fall back to the Seattle Kraken. Here's a chance for Will Borgen, as the forwards will take a change for Dave Hakstol's squad. And a 150-foot pass gets deflected. Jake Ottinger will play it as Donato will take a look, and the left pad is saved there for Ottinger off of a long flip, and Jimmy Benn will just backhand this in the offensive end. Seattle trying to find this. They're going to be going left to right in this third period. They're only down a goal as they made a little bit of a push. Again, Ian made sure that he told me on that side that if Seattle goes down by 2 in the third, you don't think that they can come back and get it. I didn't either on that side, but now it's only within 1. There's Morgan Geekie in the pink visor. Takes a hit. And this is sent back the other way here for Robo, but he loses the puck. Dallas now trying to acquiesce this thing the other way. It's right to left. Able to stay on side. They had the pivot foot of the skate on side. But this will go the other way for Yanni Gourde, trying to find a centering pass in the slot. This bounces off Turbo. Brandon Tanev, Yanni Gourde trying to race in there. The former Tampa Bay Lightning man as this goes back around the boards again. Sent back around by Tanev. It's Yanni Gourde. Centered it out toward the left side of the red line. Now D side. It's Bjorkstrand off the spin. Now Vince Dunn. Vince Dunn, patient. Off the backhand, working his way to the right side dot. Here's the bomb. It's saved by Ottinger, trying to get recollected by Tanev, sent out across the left side of the crease. This will stay with Seattle. They keep it in. Larsson pivoting. He's waiting and holding. They'll spin this back around now for Oliver Bjorkstrand near the right side of the dot. Bjorkstrand will recollect now as the puck will fall back to him near the right side red line. Ref's got to get out of the way. And now here's an outstretched pass from Pavelski. Finds Robertson. Robertson already near the bench. He's going to take a change alongside Roope Hintz. Full skill changes for Peter DeBoer's squad. Yanni Hakstol will try to relocate as this bounces up in the air. Try to get knocked away by one of the Seattle Kraken. Wemberg gets shoved down hard. And this goes the other way for Dallas, but it's turned over. In the defensive end now where Seattle's got it. Stolen across the red line by Dallas. They'll gain the neutral zone entry. Philip Grubauer goes to play this one. It's safe to the Seattle defense. Now Jaden Schultz. Here's a good little stretch pass. Trying to find Schultz. And now Dallas might have something. Tyler Seguin racing down the middle of the slot. Good back check by Matty Beniers. He might have saved a goal there. As this will go the other way into the defensive zone. Yanni Hakstol will put this off the window before Seattle gets it down deep. It's Jake Ottinger back into his goal crease as this gets turned over in the defensive end. Seattle, Jordan Eberle now near the right side of the red line. As Will Borgen tries to pinch in and finish a check. It's Matty Beniers trying to relocate against Delandria. We'll get it to Carson Soucy. Now Soucy has it bounce away from him. It's a chance for Eberle, but it's deflected. And off the end boards, Ty Cartier will try to find it. Trying to throw his shoulder. Ty Delandria just trying to get it out of his own end. As players will come together near the left side of the boards. Matty Beniers gets knocked down on his heavily padded wallet. And this goes back to Jimmy Alexiak. Now Larsson. And off the window now as this is taking a hit from Yanni Hakstol. Flip down the window across the red line. And now, is this going to be iced? Yes, it is. Dallas can't change with 14 minutes left to go in the third. Things are starting to heat up a little bit. So TNT has the coverage on Friday. It's Panthers Maple Leafs at 7 p.m. Eastern. Oilers Golden Knights. That series is tied at 2-2. Who knows which way that one's going to go? Again, 7 and 10. You think about 7-15, 10-15. That's usually how the puck drop goes. It gets a little bit delayed. As this is back the other way for Dallas in a defensive zone faceoff win. This is a cross check delivered the other way by Borgen. That's not called apparently. And now Vince Dunn will pick it up. Here's his stretch pass from 60 feet. Jared McCann will find a way to pick this one up, but they send it back to Larsson. And now Seattle got to be careful in their own end as Dallas was providing a little bit of forecheck, but Ryan Suter loses it. Short's trying to flip it up to a stick blade, playing a little Harlem Globetrotter. As this is sent the other way for Dallas, they try to just put this around the horn, but it's stolen by Jared McCann. Now off the outside of the cage, a diving attempt to just put this in front of the crease knocks down one of the Seattle Kraken. As we got 13-15 left to go in the third, the shot attempts read 23-18, but Dallas has a 3-2 scoreline advantage. Good stick lift in the middle of the slot by McCann. And now this is a 2-on-2. Jared McCann will elect for the long flip, and this is near the left side of the faceoff dot. Larsson comes together with Miro Heiskanen, as this will fall to Dallas, but not before it gets intercepted high in the neutral zone. Oliver Bjorkstrand will take a look as Jake Ottinger will touch this with the goal stick. And across the red line now, played into an open area. Robertson will flip at it. He missed it badly, but this will be picked up in the Seattle defensive end near the left side of the red line. Well, crisscross from a DDD pass, and now Seattle tries to find Yanni Gourde, but this flips up into the netting and on the plate. 12:33 left to go in the third. We get a commercial break. Come right back. It's 3-2 Dallas. I'm going to take a quick look at the scoreboard. It is 91-65. Let me make sure that this is updated. Sometimes you got to refresh. On the ESPN box, it's 91-65 with 4:47 left in the third. It is all Denver. And now Contavious Caldwell-Pope is no longer the leading scorer. But I'll take 21 points on 7 of 10 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3, and 5 of 5 from the free throw line for KCP. For Nikola Jokic, boy, has he been excellent. 12 for 14 shooting. He's got 9 assists, 8 boards, and 24 points. And if Phoenix is doing this badly, what do the points tell me? It's Cameron Payne is the leading scorer. 7 of 9. Again, that's excellent. But Durant just 5 of 14 for 14 points. That trade for KD can be an absolute epic failure on that side. And I only say that because you're losing players like Miles Bridges and Cam Johnson. You're closing the window down. So if Phoenix doesn't come back and win this against Denver, you essentially shorten your window.
I feel like Phoenix made a mistake. Because when I heard about the trade, everyone overreacted and said that the Suns were going to be the class of it.
Yes.
Like, I was one of the only people to look at it and say, this is not a good move. But, on the surface, yes, you think, wow, you got Kevin Durant. This is not the same KD.
No, he's getting a lot older here, Ian. On this side, he can't continue to score 40 every night.
Yeah, someone predicted that he would score 44 tonight.
Yeah, right.
And he's nowhere close.
No, he's had some bad games in the series, and right now he's kind of going that same way. This is with Roope Hintz now, and Jason Robertson passing in the middle of the slot, trying to find Joe Pavelski up to get back on his horse. Now near the right side of the red line, crisscross spin shot. There's a wide open net, but Pavelski plays it off the carom. Goes back D-to-D. Miro Heiskanen off the left side of the boards. And now Carson Soucy had to be patient in his own end. He tried to funnel it back to the defense, but it's picked up by Roope Hintz, the wrong guy to get it to. As this is sent back the other way, Pavelski gets taken down. And now Miro Heiskanen to the right side of the blue line. This gets deflected again. This bounces off bodies, Carson Soucy, and now it's a chance for Justin Schultz. Schultz will try to locate it, but this will pinball back to Carson Soucy, and Seattle will have to do this one more time. Dallas is just picking off these passes right now. 11:20 left to go in this third. Dallas is on the front foot of a 3-2 lead. They're trying to take a 3-2 series lead. Seattle is still right there, but they need to be able to create some chances. This is a hopeful pass that gets picked off. And now a chance for Max Domi near the left side of the red line. It's Thomas Harley in the high slot as this goes back to Domi now. He gets canceled off near the left side of the red line. Picked up by Seattle as they'll flip off the chip and chase. It's a chance for Jaden Shorts, the former St. Louis Blues man. As this is recollected, McCann took a puck up high, and we will see if that one's going to be called. Again, it kind of clipped the visor, so he's okay, but he definitely got stunned by it. But we get a stoppage with 10:48 left to go in the third. So the regular season numbers, I have those all in my notes, and between Robertson, Hintz, and Pavelski, 46, 37, and 28 goals combined. 63 assists, 38, 49. All in that order. 109 points, 75 points, about 70-something for Pavelski. But everybody else is given the production there. I know what Dallas fans are saying about Robertson, but I have to keep in mind, again, he's just 23 years of age. And I think the Dallas fans are overreacting a little bit. You know how good Robertson's going to be. Because last year, when you think about the 7-game series against the Calgary Flames, as this puck gets iced, that just wasn't a team that was ready to be able to compete with a negative goal differential. They were the only one in the playoffs last year with a negative differential. It was just a one-line team. But now Jim Nill, the GM of Dallas, he's made sure that this team is a heck of a lot more stacked all the way across. And Dallas is just as good as any.
And it's also Peter DeBoer's first year as the Dallas coach?
Yes, it is.
Well, we know what the Peter DeBoer formula is. Like the first few years he's there, the team enjoys deep playoff runs. You know, maybe with Dallas he can finally seal the deal and come up with a cup. You know, and it won't be like the Sharks or Vegas or I forget if he's coached any other teams.
He's been around for a while. There's been a couple other ones that have come up short there, Eberle. You're right. As this is turned over, Roddick Fox, a cross pass. Glendening with an opportunity, and that one gets denied. But yeah, Dallas certainly has the opportunity to make a long run, and another offsides call as Yanni Gourde goes a little bit too early. Seattle trying to get on the counterattack, but you can't do it when you continually skid off sides. It's the fifth time they've done so. So this was turned over. I got to see who blew a tire. It was Adam Larsson. Adam Larsson just fell. It was a banana peel in the middle of the ice. And Glendening able to locate it there with Foxa in the combination play, but it was just brushed aside by Ottinger. We get a neutral zone draw with 10:05 left to go in the third. So we're getting dangerously close here. Through halfway through the final frame of regulation as this is sent in by Seattle. And now Harley, he gets punished by Tolvanen as they try to double team this puck to Seattle, trying to find something. This gets gloved down, slapped by Donato. This goes high in off the webbing of the netting and out of play. 9:48 left to go in the third. We'll step aside, still 3-2 Dallas. And now to Ian's point is we're in the middle of a commercial break. He's exactly right on that. So that's what they brought in Peter DeBoer to do, to kind of jumpstart that offense. And again, they did so. Max Domi and some of the other signings that Ian mentioned a couple times we did the broadcast, he's right. He didn't do anything too flashy there for Dallas, but you addressed the depth and everything else that they needed. And they're much better off than they were last year. We can talk about Jake Ottinger, Miro Heiskanen, and Jason Robertson all in the same draft, and they hit a home run on all those. But I think Dallas has just as good as a chance as any to actually lift this cup. They're really good.
Yeah, and with, you know, you can point to, there are obviously many reasons as to why Dallas improved. You can talk about, you know, the goaltending solidifying. You can talk about Jamie Benn having a resurgence. But for me, the first thing when people said Dallas Stars, the first thing I noticed was Jason Robertson, and I looked at the board and I'm like, wait, this kid has 20 plus goals? What?
He's been an absolute superstar. I mean, he's got 40-something goals and over 100 points in the regular season, and he's still pretty much a point a game in the playoffs. And you understand, you're a young kid, you're going to get roughed up. Hell, Matty Beniers and Ty Cartier for Seattle are in that same vein where they're 20 and 22 years old, respectively. Robertson's 23. You got to learn to play playoff hockey on the fly. These guys are really good. And another one is getting profiled on TNT, Wyatt Johnston. He's only 20. So Wyatt Johnston, 24 goals in the regular season. Again, he beat out Logan Stankoven on the side of Team Canada, but he's a Dallas Stars product that we're probably going to see next year, and that'll add more to the depth of Dallas because, again, they're not going away anytime soon. Johnston's got a goal in this game. Dallas still trying to hold on to the 3-2 lead. There's been no goals in this third period. Might have something here for Johnston. He was looking for a second. He walked right in off the backhand and missed it forehand as Benn tries to pick this one up. Good skate through by Seattle. And here's an opportunity for Alex Wenberg. This one does stay onside. Jaden Schultz in the high slot. McCann with a ripper. This goes off the left blocker of Jake Ottinger and recollected now here for Dallas. It's a 3-2 game. Will we have overtime is the question. We don't know that just yet. Here's Miro Heiskanen now. Right side dot. His ripper of a wrist shot. This goes high off the window and back across the Dallas logo. As it's set now here for Roope Hintz. He'll drive in behind the net of Ottinger's office. He's still holding on. He'll send this back in deep at the left side of the red line as he tries to get recollected. Center out front, scores! Dallas gets the goal they need. But wait a second. I think this might actually have missed the net. I thought that was in, but they're going to have to review it. So we're still live. I thought this was in. My apologies. And this is sent back now. Here's Beniers. Beniers now will drive. The play's blown dead, and we've got to take an extra look at this, Ian.
Yeah, the fact that usually when a goal is scored, the opposing players stop. The Kraken didn't stop, and the clock's still going.
They're going to have to fix the clock, so Wyatt Johnston sends it out in front. This bounced off the crossbar and didn't cross the red line, so we have no goal.
Didn't cross the line.
Roope Hintz tries to lift it. Oh, it goes in and out. I don't know if it crossed the line. I thought Roope Hintz scored off the lift. I think on that look, it looks like it's in.
I think it's in. I think that's in. Yeah, they confirmed it. It's in.
The first camera angle was a bad one. The second camera angle was good. Roope Hintz lifted it in. It bounced in and out probably about a quarter of a second. So you don't really blame anybody. But okay, I'm glad I didn't butcher that goal call. It was Roope Hintz. He's got the second goal. So we did call a definitive goal, even though action was underway. They reset the clock to 8:35. It was down to about 8:05. And now Glendening gets sandwiched by the Kraken. And we have a meeting of the minds here. But Dallas gets a definitive goal here. Ian, and I feel like from the way that this is going right now, Dallas is going to take a 3-2 series lead. What say you?
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And to be honest, I know I am so confident in the Kraken, don't get me wrong, but it's just, first of all, a lot of these guys on Dallas, they just have, they have the playoff experience. I mean,
Yeah.
look, now let me make this clear. Even if the Kraken lose this series, which it's a long way off, we have at least one more game, maybe two more, depending on, hey, this game still has approximately 8 minutes left.
Yeah.
But right now, it's looking like Dallas may have the advantage. And even if the Kraken lose this series, they have nothing to be upset about.
No, and they're not going anywhere anytime either. They have all the depth. And again, they made this run. They had a true expansion year in their first year. And they didn't go all in, and they didn't sell all their assets, unlike Vegas. Seattle's not going anywhere anytime soon. They're going to be here to stay. As this is a chance now for Domi. He can't win the draw. Seattle needs a pair of goals. Now, Roope Hintz with his third point of the game. He has been absolutely unbelievable here for Dallas all the way across this playoff run. And who knows whether or not they're going to play Edmonton or Vegas. But I will say this, if they do get past this series, I think that they're going to have the advantage. Breakaway opportunity for Seguin, but the stick left at the last moment as Susie tries to finish a check. As this is picked up now here from Matty Beniers. Again, we will have at least a Game 6, a climate pledge, as we get a play whistle dead with 7:19 in the third. But again, between the teams that are left in the West, let's say Seattle does go home and it's Dallas that advances in the Western Conference against whoever it is, whether it's Edmonton or whether it's Vegas on that side. I'm going to pick Dallas.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Just from how they're playing in this game, Dallas seems like the clear favorite to win this. And would you look at that? Roope Hintz is tied for the lead in postseason for points in this postseason.
Again, I don't hear that talked about, Ian. He's tied with Draisaitl, and he's one above McDavid.
And Adam Larsson nearly had one again, but does Andre won that battle?
Yeah, 18 points for Roope Hintz, and I think 12 of them were in the first round.
Yeah.
He's
And with another screamer, but right into the glove of Andre. Oh, so close.
And Jake Ottinger can say this honestly, if they do advance in between whoever they play in the West, the best goaltender is unquestionably on Dallas. And anyone who tries to argue that just hasn't been paying attention, as this is going to try to get recollected now here for Jaden Schultz, but this will be picked up here for Robertson off of the long flip. Joe Pavelski wins yet another draw, as this is sent back now. It's still 6:55 left to go in this third. Seattle in much danger here of going down 3-2 in the season series, but they will be going to Climate Pledge in a couple of days. This one seems to be a Thursday night. It'll be a Saturday night. And if we do get a Game 7, I will be able to cover that one. That should be on the Monday side. But, well, that remains to be seen. And I'll try to keep my eyes on, if I'm not too tired on the Sunday side, to maybe get some extra one. But next week, I will make sure that I will have a schedule out there for everyone to follow. The only reason I haven't had one for a couple weeks, I just haven't had time. I haven't known which days that I've been able to broadcast officially, so I didn't want to leave everybody hanging. As this is picked up here for Larsson now. Larsson off the forehand, as this is recollected. Picked up now by Tolvanen as he tries to send this alongside the window. Yanni Gourde now off the backhand. Try to locate it here with Ryan Donato. But it'll be tied to Landry on the fourth line side for Peter DeBoer's squad. As it's Roddick Foxa. He gets canceled away from the puck, and he'll just dump this one down to Philip Grubauer. 27 shots to 20 in favor of Seattle, but they're down by 2 goals. And Dallas, in 2 games in a row now, they've been the better team so far in this series. And I would say throughout this series, I can say at this point, I feel like they've been the better team than Seattle has been. Even though Colorado had a strong Game 6, Seattle's kind of owned the rest of that series. Dallas has kind of put the stranglehold down. And I feel like I shouldn't be surprised, because we know how good Dallas is, but we get a stoppage with 6 minutes left in the third. So Dave Hakstol looks on, and everybody else getting their biofreeze here and in. It's just a Gatorade substitute that's a little bit easier on the stomach. When you're sponsored by the NHL, you got to get that money. As it's sent the other way here for Jamie Alexiak. And flipped in now to Donato. As Donato will try to get this one now. And when you're playing the Bon Jovi Living on a Prayer and sitting halfway there, well, they will essentially be halfway there, because one more win, they'll get a chance to go to the Western Conference Finals here. As this is an opportunity for Jamie Alexiak. And now picked up here for Eberle. Off the backhand. Great pass. Andre made the save, but he was out of the goal crease. And now trying to set it back up, but it's blocked by Miro Heiskanen. And the defense saves the goaltender there. As it's recollected, Larsson can't find it. Ty Cartier send this back around for Schultz. And now it's Eberle off the spin. Try to sauce it out of the air for Cartier. Now Seattle in the middle of the slot. Can they hold it in? Schultz does. At the last moment, fans on it. And now Dallas, they can race for this the other way if they got some speed. There's a great backhand move. Benn, what a stop and a block in front by Seattle. That negated a goal. That could have been the 5th for Dallas, as we're underneath 5 minutes to play here. 4:50 left to go in the third. John here going to close out the rest of the play-by-play, being joined by Ian in this Game 5 side. We're going to go to Game 6, and that's going to be at Climate Pledge Arena. It looks like Dallas is going to take a 3-2 series lead. Dallas up 4-2 in this game. Shot is loose near the left side of the slot, and Wenberg gets stoned by Ottinger as we go to break.
Some great chances there for some great chances there for Seattle, but that man Ottinger is playing. I can only put it in one word, and that's That's it.
And what word is that? You cut out. What'd you say?
I said the only word I can say is clamps.
Clamps. That's a good one. I like it.
Either clamps or wall. Take your pick.
I like clamps. I like that's a word that's not often used. They use wall too many times for goalies, so I'm going to stick with clamps. That's a good one by you.
My purchasing power adapts to meet my business needs, and I reinvest my 2% cash back to help grow our business with new products like our tabletop mouse.
What's when you think about, as we're in a commercial break, of what you need to win the Stanley Cup? Well, you need good offense. You need to be able to roll out all four lines. You need good defense. You have some of that now with Heiskanen, and Thomas Harley's been good since he's moved up. And you obviously need goaltending. You got Jake Ottinger, and that's why I keep trying to say this. I think Dallas, if they get out of the series against Seattle, I understand everybody wants to pick Edmonton. I still think they're a little bit too top-heavy with Draisaitl and McDavid. I know they've been getting some goals from Bouchard. I know RNH has had a great year, but I won't buy it until I see it. I'm just going to say it like that.
Robertson only 1 point for the first 4 games of this series, while he's dispelled that by 3 assists. His third career multi-point game in the playoffs.
Well, of course, expectations for the players were always good in the regular season, but tonight's been an indication how smart he is. For so often finding the trailer, the late man in the zone. So that's just a representation of how smart he is. He can find those areas, find the players that are open. Exceptional.
So we got 4:30 left to go here in this third. Dallas has us now on the offensive end, and there is a massive hit, I believe, against Roope Hintz. So he's had a couple goals and an assist, and you might have a loose tooth after that one as it's recollected. Now Tolman in off the drop. Move this around the net now as this is picked up here for Larsson. Larsson will try to locate it as it's flipped down the ice. We're down to 4 minutes left to go in this third. It kind of feels like all systems go here for Dallas. Again, it's just a 3-2 series lead should the Stars hold on to this 2-goal lead, but still, Seattle's got to find a way to get an answer. And in these last couple games, I feel like they've been outplayed. I know what the shots say on this side, but Dallas has converted, and their Stars have definitely played like Stars in Dallas. As this is sent in, Bjorkstrand will take a look at it as Ottinger will send this back around the window and now across the red line. It'll be Jared McCann. It's an empty net now. No more Grubauer. With 3:20 left to go in the third, Seattle's got to push the pressure here and make something happen. Turned over, shot of the empty net, and it's in. And Dallas, they will take a 3-2 series lead. Ryan Foxa makes it 5-2 in this game.
Well, that's it. Even though there's 3 minutes left, I'm confident in saying Dallas wins this one.
The one thing we can say, Ian, I know it's obvious, but if you're Jaden Schwartz, you got to dump that puck in, do something else. You can't turn it right over at the red line. Radek Faksa was right there. That's as easy as you like. He scores from 100 feet as they cue the Pantera and the Dallas Stars music. Again, you got Pantera on one end and you got Nirvana in Seattle. If you love grunge rock music, you got both fantastic bands on that side. And Radek Faksa wins the draw. Go ahead.
Nirvana is grunge, and depending on the era, depending on which era you're talking about, Pantera is metal.
Metal, yes, very hardcore metal, especially with some of the other songs on there that they have. Cowboys from Hell and some other stuff from Pantera. It's always been a very good band. As this is sent the other way now for Luke Glendening. Now Lindell and Hakanpää. And we'll try to get to this one. Ellie Tolvanen will flip it now. Here's a long wrist shot that gets sent in, but it'll be Radek Faksa in off the kick plate. And now Bjorkstrand will try to locate it as Seattle just trying to move this puck around and find some chances as it's Yanni Gourde. He just keeps it in, does Jamie Alexiak, the former Star, back here with Yanni as he recollects it now. Near the right side dot, Will Borgen fires it way high. This goes in off the window. And the time continues to dwindle as Alexiak and Seattle trying to get away with a couple of cross checks. As this is picked up here for Borgen, it's turned over, and Grubauer will brush it aside near the left side dot. Roddick Foxa, he just scored the empty net goal. He's back out there right now, so the fourth line going to try to get some stuff done and kill the rest of this time as all the fans are going to be rising to their feet again. Everybody wearing the Allen Strong patches on the both sides of the helmet there from the Texas massacre and the mall shooting. So we knew that there was going to be some heavy hearts on this side, and the Dallas fans are going to be rewarded with a massive win in this game against Seattle. Here's another chance in the high slot. Carson Soucy absolutely ate it on a shot block, but he gets back up. And this is picked up now by Seattle. They'll flip this one, but it's stolen by Thomas Harley. Harley now will recollect near the left side of the goal crease. He's got it. Patient now, and behind the office of his netminder is one of the Seattle players, blew a tire. And now Dallas will quickly matriculate this thing and across the red line and gain the entry. They're doing exactly what they have to do now. Up by 3. They're flipping it in. They're getting the entry, and they're killing time. They're not turning this over. Dallas has played an exceptional Game 4, an exceptional Game 5, and that's why they're going to be taking a 3-2 series lead with 1:10 left to go here in this third. As this is sent back in, Jamie Alexiak, he will have it, but this bounces off of his skate blades. And now Dallas with Tyler Seguin. He won a Stanley Cup with the Boston Bruins. As this is sent back in here for Wyatt Johnston, but it's turned over. Now this will go back here for Seattle. They'll flip this in as we're underneath the minute. All the towels are waving at American Airlines Center. They are sensing the moment as Seattle is going to be pushed right to the precipice. It's going to be a 3-2 series lead for Dallas when the best of 7 is tied 2-2. The Game 5 winner wins the series 78% of the time, and that's why I posted the question on the YouTube side, and that's what we got all votes of yes. So we got some smart fans on that side. As this is sent the other way now. Grubauer will play to the defensive side as we're getting underneath the 15-second marker, trying to find a sauce pass for Eberle. This will go back for Vince Dunn. Not in a particular hurry here is Seattle. They know what's facing them and their fate. As the clock winds down, Dallas takes a 3-2 series lead with a dominating 5-2 victory in Game 5. It's going to be all hands on deck as we go back to Climate Pledge. Seattle must win or this series is done.
5-2 victory for the Dallas Stars. I'll tell you what, the way they played tonight, you could pencil them in for the next, if not for Seattle's just unpredictability, one might pencil them in for the next round.
I think so, Ian, and they've showed the dominance in Game 2, Game 4, and Game 5. Now, 3 games in this series where they've outplayed Seattle convincingly. There isn't any argument that you can make on that. They've shown something that most teams, again, the Colorado Avalanche with the exception of Game 6, other teams couldn't do. And Dallas is trying to put the screws against the Kraken right now, and they've got them on the brink. So I'm going to get set to close out this play-by-play side of it. But Ian, thank you very much for joining me, and I will try to catch up with you next week. I know Alec will probably be alongside. Maybe I'll join in with both of you guys. But thank you, man, for helping me out here, and we will talk very soon.
All right, sir.
Sounds good. See you.
All right.
Well, guys, I appreciate it. I know if you're joining late on the YouTube, we didn't get as many people here today, and I mistakenly closed out the question a little bit too soon, but it was a complete 100% to nothing. I said, did whoever win this Game 5, are they going to win the series? You all said yes, and Dallas, they've won the Game 5. They won so in dominating fashion. It was a 5-2 victory, and in the third period, Roope, Hintz, and Roddick Fox into the empty net, as it was all Stars. And now between Game 2, Game 4, and Game 5, they're poised to go to the Western Conference Finals. Game 6 is going to be on Saturday night because of my prior commitments to the Waterford Sharks for the hockey league team that I got to cover here locally. I got to cover a game on Saturday and Sunday, so I won't be back for the YouTube side. But if we do get to a Game 7 in this series on Monday in between Seattle and Dallas, I will be back here for that. If not, you will see me back in between the Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals. So you guys have a good weekend, and I will talk to you very soon. And I will leave links as far as the other coverage if you want to catch some Michigan Independence Hockey League Finals. Talk to you guys then. Peace.